Boosai. What's up, shipwrecks? 1 second, let me start the timer. Can you guys believe today is the last day of SUBATHON? Wow! I hope everybody's doing well. Happy Friday! Congrats, shipwrecks! You guys made it to the end of the week. Can you believe that? We made it to the end of the week. Insane. For real, I'm over this week already. I'm over this week. Anywho, I hope everybody is having a wonderful Friday, and if not, I hope your Friday gets better. I don't anticipate today will be like a super duper long stream. Every time I say that, for some reason, I just tend to stream for a long period of time. But it is a react day today. We're gonna be reacting to the video that we didn't get to react to last time because I wanted to do the entire story of Magic the Gathering explained. So we're gonna do that today. My YouTube manager also recommended me some like D&D skit type of videos for us to watch today, and I do have one M&J TV video that I have on the list today. So hopefully we can get through all of them. As for how my day is going, it's been okay. I've been baking since yesterday because I have a lot of bread orders. So I got up early this morning. I did some baking. I went back to bed and I got back up, did some more, and I'm just tired. I'm a little tired. I'm not gonna lie, but I went to the store before stream, which is why I think it was like a few minutes late, but I don't know. This is the first time I'm trying this. It's called Alani. It's a caffeine drink, and I'm not gonna lie, it's very tasty. It's actually very, very tasty. But there's apparently 200 milligrams of caffeine in that. I don't know what that is like equivalent to. What is 200 milligrams of caffeine equivalent to? That's a lot of caffeine. That's a lot of caffeine. You know what? I guess, Google this. Yes, Google exists for a reason. Google exists for a reason, and I need to use Google more often. 200 milligrams. A cup and a half of coffee. Which one did you grab? I got Orange Kiss. It tastes like an orange popsicle. Alright, let's see. Yeah, it says it's about a cup and a half. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's about how much caffeine I think I consume daily already. So I don't think it's actually that bad. I guess it could be worse. There were too many flavors. There was like a Hawaiian shaved ice flavor, some sort of funky fruit punch flavor, and I was just like, I'll just grab the orange one. I didn't expect for it to be like super carbonated. It tastes like soda. That's what it tastes like. It tastes like orange soda. It tastes like Fanta to me. But apparently it's 0 sugar. What does it say? 0 gram sugar, gluten-free, vegan. It has biotin and 200 milligrams of caffeine. This seems to be a lot of stuff. There's no protein in it though, which makes me sad. So. Not recommended for children, people sensitive to caffeine, pregnant women, or women who are nursing. Well, good thing I'm none of those things. Good thing I'm not a child, I am not pregnant, and I am not nursing. I work at a gas station, so I see a lot of different kind of energy drinks. I try to the 2 energy drinks I cannot stand is Monster, and I can't stand Red Bull. Those are the 2 I feel like they just taste bad to me. But I was told to try Alani. Alani's pretty yummy. I think there's like Celsius as well. Celsius isn't super bad. But I don't know. I need coffee flavor Monster. I don't even like Monster. I think Monster tastes bad. You're not a child. By the way I see you act when watching M&J TV, I wouldn't have guessed. What? Huh? What? I'm so confused. Me, like, confusion. I usually... That is such a weird fucking comment, my guy. That's so weird. I usually drink Poseidon here through my day, no caffeine drinks. Here's the thing, here's the thing with like me and caffeine. I've been drinking like caffeine I think every morning since high school. So I've also, this is really bad because I have like a weird caffeine, I don't know, is it addiction, withdrawal? But I feel like if I don't have caffeine, I can't start my day. I used confusion, it was super effective. I don't know if you meant that as like a compliment, but that's kind of, that was a weird comment, my guy. What the heck? That is strange and weird. The best energy drink is Gamer Sub. I love Gamer Subs. I swear it's not because I'm just partnered. I just really love Gamer Subs. I don't think so. I don't know. Like then why say that? Like that's so weird. You don't have a caffeine addiction until you have 7 espresso shots over ice. You know, I'm starting to get there. I'm actually starting to get there. Whenever I go get like coffee and stuff, I always try to ask for like, can you add like an extra espresso or 2? It's starting to get to that point. And it's so bad. It's so bad. I know I shouldn't. But sometimes I feel like I can't even focus either without caffeine. I was like that with coffee until a friend corrupted me and showed me the coffee flavored monsters. Now I'm addicted to them. Oh my god. They're on discount, only 10 at a time. I feel like that gets expensive. Isn't Monster expensive? I usually drink soda for caffeine. I don't get like caffeine rushes from soda. I'll be honest, I always forget soda has caffeine in it. But yeah, I've been on an iced coffee kick. I could never get into coffee. It smells like dirt to me. It tastes like dirt to me. It smells great though. Where I live, I can get it for like $4 or $5. That's still pretty expensive for an energy drink though. Soda only has like 30 milligrams of caffeine. Oh, that's probably why. That's probably why. That is probably why. Yeah, I'm trying to like cut my soda intake. Like I only ever drink like 0 and stuff like that, but I don't know. I just want to get away from the soda stuff. I say as I'm drinking is Alani considered soda? Because the way it's advertised to me, it's like it says like energy drink on it. So I was just like, oh, it's just like an energy drink, but I didn't expect for it to like taste like soda. I quit energy and soda to try Gamer Subs. Dead ass Gamer Subs is the bomb. Gamer Subs is awesome. Of course, using code SHIPWRECK. Use code SHIPWRECK for 10%. I think there was like a new Gamer Subs drop today too. Really excited for that. Pay about $2 and some change in my save for energy drinks. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. I always just have caffeine on me. Like even in my purse, I keep. So every time you get like Gamer Subs, right? I'm sure most of you have probably ordered Gamer Subs once or twice. And then if you haven't, go do that right now because I used my code. But they usually send you like free sample packs, and I usually save them and I put them in my like backpack and purse. So that way, just in case if I ever need like a caffeine thing, I've just like crack one open, throw it in water, and like that. And it's super yummy. I always keep them in my TCG bag too whenever I go to like tournaments and stuff. Graphic looks amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, you probably have guys noticed I haven't been using my default model in a while. Actually, maybe I used it last time. Not last time, sure. But I am currently getting re-rigged And I'm getting like a 2.5 done of my default design. I think I've showed it on Twitter already, because there were a bunch of artists like that were asking if it was okay for certain VTubers to be done for fan merch. But anyways, you use it like 3, okay, it's still a while, my guy. But I don't use it as often as I used to. But anyways, I'm getting it re-rigged. And I don't know when it's gonna get done. It's gonna be definitely a process. Because here's the thing with me and my models. There's so much going on at the same time just to like due to the nature of my design. And I feel so bad for the person who's re-rigging it. Because they're like, I didn't expect your model to be so complex. And I'm like, ah! It's mostly the hair physics. It's my hair legitimately has like 150 layers to it. Like each of the bubbles and stuff like that and all the textures are on like individual layers. They're not like all together. So yeah, complex and be good friends, but plus the way your modern hair looks great. Thank you. It's a lot. It's a lot. It is a lot. But I want to do more like models where my hair, I guess, can be like I feel like you can get really creative with how the water is in like my hair. So I want to experiment more with like models in the future. Like what if I had like frozen hair instead, or like slushy hair or something like that. It'd be cool to get like a freshwater model where it's not super teal and it's like more blue on the hair. That'd be cool. TCG Live is bugging again. Yeah, usually. Are you playing it on the phone or the PC? Because I find that it's more buggy on phone than PC. I find that it's a lot more buggy on phone than PC. Well, if you had frozen hair, that means you'd be like an ice type and not a water type. Phone, yeah. No, the phone app, I try to avoid playing on the phone app if possible. But it's also because we have rotation and they added a bunch of new stuff in the game, so there's usually bugs. Usually bugs. I'm gonna see if I can try to stream this weekend. I'm gonna try to stream tomorrow. I say try because I have an exam on Monday and I need to study for it, and I haven't studied for it like at all. So I'm like, should I spend my weekend streaming or should I spend my weekend doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Dude, it's so shitty. I hate it. Oh, can I be really honest with you, Chad? And I've said this before. I think people who are tripping over the what do you call it? Tripping over like TCG Live over like little stuff. I feel like people are being super over dramatic. Like, yes, there are issues, but I don't think they're like issues where it ruins the whole sim. Because I want to say like I don't think there's any like TCG sim that is perfect. There's always problems with all of them. So I think the people who are just like TCG Live is the worst. Honestly, in my experience, I think the sim is great for people who want to learn how to play the game. So I think it should be the first priority. It should, yeah. I need to probably get a B on this exam at the very least. Would look like as other ties? I have no idea. I'm not super outfit design pilled as other people, which is why I commission other artists to do my outfit design. But yeah, I think the people who say that PTCG Live's a bad sim are being over dramatic. Because I have seen much worse sims out there for like TCG sims. I made it to Great Ball rank on Champions. I still haven't tried it. I had to download it. Like I have my Switch here and I keep telling myself I'm gonna download it and I just haven't done it yet. I want to get a crash course on VGC because here's the thing. I love watching people play VGC. Like I will sit and watch people play VGC for hours on end. But I'm not, how do I say it? How do I say this? I'm just not VGC my brain isn't wired for VGC. I feel like it's very like, it's just too much, you know? I'm not happy that you need to pay to play it. Oh my gosh. It's almost like most games nowadays you have to pay to play it. Zustra, I miss her. She released a cover the other day. Was it the other day or was it yesterday? I retweeted it yesterday. But she released a cover on her new channel. Zuzu, my beloved. Yesterday, yeah, I love her. She's so talented. I love her so much. We need to do something together. Here's the thing with like me and Zeus, right? We talk on a pretty frequent basis. Like we check in with each other so frequently, but we don't collab because when she starts streaming, I'm like ending my stream to go do other things. So we need to find a time to do something. I was actually talking to Apollo today because I was like, we should do something together. She was asking me if I wanted to do anything with her. And I was like, yes, of course. Time zones are rough. It sucks because Zeus, I think, is legitimately 15 to 16 hours ahead of me. She is like actually hecka ahead. She's really ahead. So what is it? It might be like 5 or 6 o'clock over in the Philippines right now. Day and a half ahead. She's 16 hours. She's almost the same time as Hotaru. Yeah, I think it might be, Hotaru might be like an hour or 2 ahead. Not entirely sure. I don't keep up with the Japan time zone very well. I keep up with the Philippine time zone because I have family there, so yeah. 4:30. Okay, so it's about 15 hours. Champion so far. The meta is not that bad. We get basic items at the moment. I need to do the event for free Gardevoir. 100 tickets to recruit Pokemons. Hey, you know what? It looks fun. It looks fun. People, I think the graphics look good for champions. But you know what I learned the last few days? Pokemon fans will not, I'm not even gonna call them fans. I think there are some people that just cannot stand having anything good to say about Pokemon. Like, they just cannot stand having to compliment the game. Like, yes, there's probably not a lot of Pokemon out yet, but are they probably gonna add them over time? Yeah. Are they gonna do events to give out free Pokemon over time? Yes. So it makes, sometimes I see people on Twitter trashing on champions, and that's why I had to ask that question, because I'm like, what the heck's going on? And then most of the people in the comments were like, Pokemon haters are just being themselves. They're just hating the game for little stuff. Dude, Pokemon could release like the most banger thing ever, and they will still find a way to like be mad. And I'm like, doesn't it get exhausting? Why can't we just enjoy something for what it is and respect people enjoying it? Like, what is wrong with people enjoying it? I had to say that because I cannot keep logging into Twitter and people just being mad and so negative all the time. Like, don't you get exhausted? For champions specifically, I've seen a list of most valid complaints. Valid? Valid? I mean, the fact that, I mean, yes, maybe not all the Pokemon are out yet, but they're gonna probably add them over time. I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think it's cool, though, that they're making... The thing I'm most happy about is that VGC is more accessible. Because I think before you had to have a Switch, you had to have Scarlet and Violet, you had to have finished the game, you had to have done this and had to have done that. And now it's like, you can just pull it up on your phone and you're chilling. You can learn how to play from just your phone on an official sim. So, honestly, I feel like we're going in a good direction. I like the roster in Pokemon Champions is extremely limited right now. It gives weaker Pokemon a chance to shine. That's a point I actually didn't even think to like think about. That other Pokemon get a chance to do stuff. Most importantly, no Oshi. Hi, KR Kaiser. Hello. Statement, while it's true people can like, especially mainline games, for a company to make that much money, their games are too low quality. I don't think so. Honestly, I think the, like, Pokopia was fun. I liked Legends EA. Champions looks good. I don't think it's as low quality as people say it is. Is it lower quality than some games on the market? Yes. But I don't think it's as bad. Mega Golurk stares menacingly. I think it's so cool they added all the new megas in there. Pokopia is so addicting. That's why I had to stop playing. I just stopped playing. The animations look great. Way better than Scarlet and Violet. I actually really enjoy the graphics in Pokemon Champions. I was watching some streamers play it, and I was like, damn, that looks fun. That looks good. And the little arenas are cool too, and you can like change the music and everything. I think that's really sick. But yeah, I'm not like VGC brain pilled. Not yet. I say not yet. Some of the old megas are missing too, but that's fine. Give some spotlight to the new ones. I think it's cool that the new ones get an opportunity to be competitive. Sai VGC training arc. I need to find someone to teach me how to play VGC. Like I know a few VTubers that play it, and I'm like people shy to ask, but I should probably ask. Only fair criticism is that the Switch game and could have started with Switch 2 version. For private matches, they should have let people do 6v6, but those features will come later on. Fair enough. Team Sky and MGT will be on Cloud 9 once it gets its hands on Pokemon wins. Oh my gosh. I'm probably going to be picking up Waves. One, because I think it's most appropriate for me, and two, I've always been an Ocean girly over a Sky girly. There's so many bugs in Champions. I know there were bugs initially, but didn't they patch them up? Can you react to more pars? Can you put that in my suggestions channel? I had to remind people this every single time I stream, like reacting. And I need to be better about continuing to remind people. But please do not put like react suggestions in my chat. There's a channel in my Discord specifically for that. And then whenever I'm looking for stuff to react to, I refer to that channel. Do I get through everything on there? No. But I really highly suggest you do that, so my chat doesn't get clogged up. But people make it seem like the game is unplayable. I know, people are so miserable. There are some people that just cannot say anything but about Pokemon. They're the same people that are like the Pokemon's #1 hater, and then they're also the people who I will see spend like 200 hours on the game. And it's like, how can you say you don't like this thing and then proceed to play so many hours of it? Counter Zero bugs are my time playing Champions. I know they had like a maintenance. I wonder if they were fixing it. But I also think there was like, what do you call it? Sorry, I had to like, my nose is getting all weird. What was I gonna say? My brain just fucking short-circuited. My brain like actually just short-circuited. I forgot what I was gonna say. I hate this game, but I'll spend my entire weekend in said game to fuel my hatred. People try to be positive and challenge impossible. I don't know. I'm just happy to play game. That's it. I am just happy to play game. Yeah, I'll learn how to play VGC at some point. Okay, I think I could probably get the basics of VGC down pretty quick. It's all about like learning the meta, I think might be what's hard. But I don't think it'll be too hard to like learn that. I think it just takes a lot of time. VGC, yeah. Really, I can write for hours about my hate for World of Warcraft. But do you play World of Warcraft? Are you still playing the game? People that say it's completely unreasonable for champions to have released with game-breaking modes, but like, oh, that's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. I think Pokemon just really wanted to move to an official battling game as soon as they could. I think they were trying to do it before NAIC, which is in June. So NAIC is North American International Championships for Pokemon. It's like the biggest championship series that isn't Worlds. So I think they were really trying to make sure it was completed and people had time to use it before. Worlds is August. Worlds is August. NAIC is in June. Yeah, they probably wanted people to they probably wanted their player base to have time on the software before they moved towards. But Worlds will be using champions. I think actually, was it Indianapolis? There's a regional happening next month. I think at the end of May that they're gonna start doing champions on. I'm wondering if they're gonna allow people to play on their phones. I don't see why they wouldn't. For me, the hardest part is predict what your opponent's doing in the same turn. Yeah, exactly. I think that's the hardest part, is knowing, like, trying to understand, like, if I was my opponent, what would I want to do this turn? So the Pokemon champion is just normal Pokemon without the... It's literally just battling. It's just battling. You could, like, change IVs and stuff directly in the game and natures and everything. There was one year during Scarlet and Violet where the regulation changed 1 month before the World Championship and people had 0 time to adjust. Yeah, 1 month is not enough time. I think giving them like 4-ish months, like the competitors who are making it to Worlds, I think 4 months is pretty reasonable to give them time. But yeah. I think them having to release it like a little early was probably because of that. I would have been mad. I would have been really mad. If I was a VGC player and I was given a sim like a month before Worlds and I'm like, this is weird. 4.5 months? Yeah. I imagine by the time Worlds comes around, or I would even argue NAIC, they will probably add most of the competitive roster. At least what is legal for play right now. I imagine that is what they are going to do. But yeah. I think it looks fun. Honestly, I'm happy with champions not having Terra and Megas. I think it's better to give Megas some time in the spotlight for a while. Yeah. It's one of the most streamed categories on Twitch right now too. Like while I was eating my lunch, I was watching someone play champions and it was a lot of fun. Lose your points when you lose EA. Let you keep your points when you lose online. I think champions is gonna be more of a ranked grindy thing versus EA. Like, yes, there's ranked in ZA, but I don't think the Legends ZA like ranked is as popular as like VGC. I think VGC ranked is more serious because it's the actual battle software people use. I'm doing some team building right now in champions. I know Tinkaton is not like a great, like, I guess, Pokemon in competitive, but I wanna play it. I only play the ranked in ZA for rewards mostly. I think that's what it is. People like playing ranked in ZA for the like exclusive rewards, as opposed to I think people play ranked for VGC to go up on the leaderboard, if that makes sense. Like, nobody's gonna care that you're like rank A. There's not gonna be very many people that care that you're rank A in ZA, but there's gonna be a lot of people that care if you're highly ranked on VGC. Gets Fake Out and Gigaton Hammer, which does decent damage despite its low attack. Yeah, it's back burner. I think the ranked in ZA just functions more as a player game to get more exclusive items, which I will say the items are pretty cool. I like having the cool Pokeballs you can't normally get. I don't know what I'm gonna use a Beast Ball for, but I'm a hoarder when it comes to items and games. So I'll have it so I can look at it and be like, wow, I have a Beast Ball. But yeah, Mousehold looks fun too. Fairy Steel is such a good type too. Fairy Steel is such a banger type combo. Man, now I want to play. I think it's cool though that you can adjust like most of your natures and everything. Ever play D&D, Poseidon? I'm in a Pokemon D&D campaign right now. I'm in a Pokemon D&D campaign. It's pretty fun. We're trying to schedule our second session though, which has been an interesting time. But I've only played in like a few one-shots. I haven't been in like a multi-year campaign. Like I have a friend that's been in like a 4-year campaign and they're still going. They are still going. I love Altaria, but it's not very good in doubles. I mean, there's gonna be Pokemon that are good in doubles and good in singles. Because I know there's both. There's a rank ladder for both, right? In Champions, you can play either in singles or doubles. It was awesome. Yeah, if you check on my YouTube channel, or even, I think it might still be up on my Twitch VODs. It should be there. Also, I'm getting a video edited for it, so it should be up there. Mega Altaria is a menace in singles, but never gets used in doubles, which I think is cool. You get to play different things. VGC locked to doubles, yes, but there's also singles meta, because there's gonna always be Pokemon that work better in singles versus doubles, and vice versa. I think it's cool. I think it's cool. We should probably get reacting, shouldn't we? Our Chaladon doesn't learn body press anymore. RIP. I'm so sorry. They changed some of the abilities, I think, for certain mons. Certain Pokemons. Where's the link to the Discord? If you scroll up in the chat, it should be up there. Are the players themselves or are they trainers? We are trainers. We are trainers. Trainers. Alright, if the timer runs out in the middle of this video, we'll finish the video and call it there. How does that sound? Because this one's a long video. This is like an hour and 20 minutes. So I hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys are ready. But if the timer runs out in the middle of the video, we'll just finish the video and subathon there. How does that sound? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yap for as long as I did. What are the chances it'll end? High. There's a high chance it'll end, trust. Trust. I have faith that it'll end today. Imagine if someone used Electroterra, Air Balloon, Shedinja with Wonder Guard. Dude, somebody was literally just talking to me about that. What? Anonymous, please, just let me out. Anonymous, please, just let me out. Thank you for the 10 kisses. All right, it's fine. It's fine. The video's an hour and 19. Where's my full screen? There we go. Stop! Ghost, y'all, thank you for the 5. Thank you for the 5, Ghost, y'all. There are ways to kill Shedinja. Wouldn't it be like status effects? Like poison or burn? Because it literally only has one HP. No ending for you. Hey, an hour and 16. We can end today still. We can end today still. Trust. Okay. Well, that's too damn bad. That is too damn bad. Sai wants to leave us so bad. You know what I want so bad? To be free. I want to be unshackled from my chains. Anyways, chat, it is time for more React. If you have no idea, I've started my Magic the Gathering arc. Okay, listen, I was a huge tsundere about Magic the Gathering. I was just like, I can't play the game. It's not like I like the game or anything. And the real reason is because I knew if I got into the game, I'd enjoy it. Which is what happened. So, I'm still a Magic the Gathering noob. So we're gonna be watching the entire story of Magic the Gathering because there's a whole plot. There's a whole plot. So we're gonna be watching Spice 8 Rack. I don't know. Someone said this was he was a cool guy. He was a cool dude.
This video is brought to you by my patrons and CoolStuffInc.com. A list of
Shout out
topics
to
and
them.
content warnings can be found in the description.
There's a content warnings. What are the content warnings? Oh my god, it's a whole document. It's a whole document. What the heck? Jesus Christ. It's a whole document. They is they them. Oh my bad. Thank you for the correction. They're awesome. What is this? This is so much like the time that you're
My
awesome.
name is Spice Arak, aka Soy Celiaco, and this is the entire story of Magic the Gathering. Let's go! In the beginning. There was this chunky dragon who birthed all the other dragons on Dominaria, two of which were Nicol Bolas and Ugin. The others are cool but died and don't matter.
No!
Dominaria is a plane of existence in Magic the Gathering, separated from the rest by the Blind Eternities. If you're having trouble imagining it, think of planes as planets, the Blind Eternities as space, and me as the caring parental figure you always knew you deserved.
Okay.
Around this same time on Ravnica, another plane, another dragon, a sphinx, and some other freaks signed the Guild Pact, splitting the plane into 9 guilds and promoting peace and cooperative development between each other.
Surely nothing goes wrong, right?
For now. Back to Dominaria, and societies have
Nothing
developed.
could
one
ever
of which
go
is
wrong.
The Thran, and a handsome man turns up to help them out. Just kidding, it's Yawgmoth, who is a magic fascist. He
Wait, he's kind of sexy. I do like my men with long hair.
is handsome though, that part was true.
Hey, that's facts.
He meets Daifed, who is a planeswalker, a special
Is this the official card or is this like... Is this like just someone just drew this? Yawgmoth is literally Jeffrey Dahmer. Is he really? What?
a god with the ability to transport between the different planes, and she takes him to an empty
I don't know if I
plane where
like
he
that
can
anymore,
house
never
the people
mind.
who are sick with a mysterious and contagious disease caused by the magic nuclear reactors that the Thran use. Just kidding, he stores them there to experiment on them and reform
Yawgmoth is Magic's equivalent to Satan.
them into cyberflesh nightmare bastards, including this guy called Gix, whilst also exiling his political rivals and their goblin servants to a different plane called Mercadia. The Thran aren't jazzed by all of this and they start a civil war, so Yawgmoth blows up an artificial moon and kills them all,
Oh my
but gets trapped
God.
inside his hell plane by a Thran
Going on.
and lady who fuses together a special key that keeps the gate between the two planes shut and then dies because of the moon. Everybody's dead, Dave. Oh, and the plane that Yawgmoth is trapped on is called Phyrexia. That's probably not going to be important later on. Time passes and some more bullshit happens. On Dominaria, a guy called Dakon forges a special sword called the Black Blade, and Nicol Bolas has a punch-up with a big squid which opens the first of Dominaria's many time rifts over Madara. On Innistrad, a New England
This sounds like a fun world to live in.
horror plane, a chap called Edgar Markov begins the curse of vampirism with his grandson Sorin. Sorin, Ugin, and a very emotionally healthy core called Nahiri seal some plane-eating monsters, the 3 Eldrazi Titans, in a mountain on Zendikar, a mana-rich plane of
God.
adventure and Nahiri's homeworld. They do this to stop them from eating the whole multiverse and use a spell that can only be broken by 3 planeswalkers assembling at the Eye of Ugin in the mountain and using Ugin's Ghost Flame. Foolproof. And back on Dominaria, 2 boys called Mishra and Urza are born. Oh no!
What do you
The
mean,
boys
oh
grow
no? What's gonna happen? Why'd you say that?
up to be skilled artificers, but when a brotherly feud leads to the death of their mentor, they become indefinite rivals. That rock they were fighting over whose breaking in 2 caused their mentor's death sure does look very similar to that special key that sealed Phyrexia away from Dominaria. It's probably nothing that— Yo, who the fuck are you?
Who is
the brothers'
that?
feud develops into a full-blown world war, and Mishra is corrupted and changed by Phyrexia.
Oh no.
Urza isn't a fan of either this or the prescient Phyrexian invasion and blows up a third of the plane with a megaton fruit bowl called the Golgothian Scythe.
Imagine getting blown up by this. It's crazy.
He becomes a planeswalker for his troubles, and his eyes are replaced with the 2 halves of the Power Stone that he and his brother nearly destroyed the world over. How sentimental, I guess. Time passes, and Urza's gap century backpacking around the multiverse ends when he meets Xantia, a newt or human-turned Phyrexian, and decides it's probably time for him to deal with the hell world that ate his brother. His assault fails, he goes mad, and runs away through space with Xantia, being chased by Phyrexians to every world he passes through.
I don't like
some
that.
of which are destroyed as a result, and others asking him politely but firmly to leave. Urza goes back to Dominaria eventually, where Gix is waiting to meet him, and the pair fight, with Xantia sacrificing herself to save Urza and finally destroy Gix. More time passes. On the plane of Kamigawa, a Japanese folklore and later futurist-style world,
Jesus Christ, how many goddamn worlds are existing?
the mortal emperor seals the daughter of the Kami emperor in a decorative plate to achieve immortality, and that just causes a whole hullabaloo. The daughters of both emperors eventually join forces to defeat their warring parents with the help of a rogue called Toshiro Umezawa, whose actions ended up diminishing the extraplanar powers of whatever the piss this thing is, so he's blinded and sent to the plane of Dominaria in exile. Azor, the Sphinx from Ravnica who set up the Azorius Guild, is a planeswalker, and he and Ugin try and trap Nicol Bolas with a magic disc called the Immortal Sun on Ixalan, an Aztec with Dinosaurs Island on a plane of the same name. But they mess up, and Azor ends up getting stuck there instead. Why did they mess up? Well, as Sarkhan sees when he travels back in time on Tarkir, Ugin gets killed by Nicol Bolas in a crux of fate, but he saves the dying dragon and seals him in a healing cocoon. Who is Sarkhan? What is Tarkir? I'm confused. What on earth is going on? You'll find out in a few thousand years.
Okay.
Let's check back in with Dominaria, and oh dear, it's in one of the three...
Magic is up to over 80 known planes, and they're stated to be limitless. That's insane.
Ice Ages that will sporadically perform it because of Urza's Silex Blast. A bloke called Joda and a lady called Jaya Ballard are born and fight a necromancer called Limdor and a nightwalker called Leshrak. But both of those weirdos piss off on their own, and Jaya's spark ignites when a weird little magic freak trapped in a ring makes her lose her mind for a wee moment. Fast forward a few years, nothing happened. Nothing happened, don't worry about it. And Urza's back. Oh no, again! He's healed his mind, but not his soul, because he founds a school on the island of Teleria on Dominaria, where he's about to do a whole bunch of unethical stuff to everybody who steps foot inside. Amongst those are the wizards Baron and Rain, and the students Urtai and... Oh, pissing shit!
What the
Phyrexians just snuck up and invaded the Telerian Academy, killing everybody inside.
What is up with these goddamn Phyrexians? Can they just calm the fuck down? They're always killing people and exploding things and destroying everything.
Quick, Urza, send the silver golem you just made called Khan, who's been brought to life with the heartstone that you took from Xantia's corpse, you fucking weirdo, back in time 24 hours to prevent them from doing that.
Can they do that?
Oh, shitting piss! Urza's time machine was built by a madman with no moral compass, and of course it exploded the minute somebody turned it on.
Wow, who could have guessed?
A handful of people escaped the invading Phyrexians,
along honestly, fuck Urza.
With a bunch of students who get trapped in different time bubbles, like the children, Joyra and Teferi, the former of whom is left immortal because of the time explosion, the latter of whom develops a fascination with time after being trapped in a slow time bubble whilst on fire for 20 years. Urza then decides that he alone can solve the problem that he first caused and has only made worse up until this point by beginning the construction of the legacy weapon to once and all destroy Phyrexia and the... Jesus Christ, the Bloodlines Project. More on that later. He starts gathering bits and bobs together to build the legacy, including destroying Serra's realm, an angelic world of peace and harmony that was one of the now corrupted planes that he unwittingly led Phyrexians to. Hopefully, Urza apologized at least a few times for all of the trouble, as he shrinks all of the energy of the plane down into a battery to power his big gun and erases it from existence.
Oh my god!
God, Urza sucks so...
Yeah, what the heck is wrong with this guy?
Bad. We temporarily zip off to the feudal plane of Algrotha to see some dwarves, vampires, and a Marge Simpson creepypasta duke it out over a magical wind chime, but none of it has any bearing on the main narrative. Speaking of the main narrative, however, Joyra and Teferi move to a land called Zalfia on Dominaria, Tetsuo Umezawa, a distant descendant of Toshiro, slays Nicol Bolas.
I need to see this family tree. My brain is like trying to keep up, There's just so many characters.
Holy shit, what a chad. The elder dragons on the plane of Archivus end a period of violence so tremendous that it's known as the Blood Age and establish the School of Strixhaven to study and preserve magical knowledge.
But will this school get blown up?
And
destroyed.
Nahiri is awoken from her meditative watch on Zendikar as the Eldrazi test the bounds of their prison. She fights off their broods and recontains them, wondering where Sorin and Ugin are. She finds Sorin on Innistrad, threatening him that if he doesn't get his alabaster ass to Zendikar to fix things up lickety-split, I swear to God, and then Sorin—
Did he say that word for word? Hi, Josh.
seals her in a magical moon shard prison called the Hell Vault with the help of an archangel he created called Avacyn, and leaves her there for thousands of years. You know, for an ageless vampire and a planeswalker, Sorin sure is short in both temper and sight. We yet again return to Dominaria, where Teferi's new home, itself a place of great magical learning, phases out of existence because of Teferi's time magic meddling, during which the Man Spark ignites, and a bunch of powerful mages all convene to work out what exactly happened. The obviously villain-coded one turns out to be a big—
What do you mean, obviously? How could I have guessed this guy was a bad guy? I don't know. I have no idea.
Who wants all the
he looks like the nicest guy ever.
Knowledge and power for himself, and the Mirage War breaks out. 200 years later, Teferi turns up and is like, good lord, what happened here? And defeats the bad guy, who then gets trapped in the Amber Prison by the good guy that the bad guy had previously trapped in the Amber Prison during the war.
It's like
They're also assisted by a lady called Sisse, who's travelling on a flying ship called the Weatherlight. But
That's pretty sick.
The who?
Just stare at the pole to ignore the giant walking red flag. I get it.
Travelling on the what? Sisse was born to a Zalfiran family, now slain by Phyrexians, who was given the skyship Weatherlight by Urza for safekeeping after he grew it from the weather seed that he was given by an angry tree after he convinced him that destroying an entire continent with a magical hydrogen bomb was totally fine and cool, actually.
How did he convince him that?
Sisse's on a quest to gather together all the legacy artifacts, a series of items that, when combined together, will form the legacy weapon, because loads of them have been stolen. Stolen from where and by whom, you ask? Well...
Stolen from where? And by whom?
Came in there a little bit late, Rowan. Come on. Chop chop, trying to record here. They'd been given to the parents of Gerard Capuchin, who'd passed them down to him when they had also been targeted and slain by Phyrexians. Gerard himself was rescued from the Phyrexians by Khan, who Urza had also gifted to the Capuchin family, because Urza is a scumbag who values his right of ownership over the sentience of the things he owns, and then was adopted by a Jamuran warlord called Sidar Kondo. The syntax of that sentence sounds like Urza was adopted. No, it was Gerard. Urza deserves no family.
What the fuck is this family tree?
Sidar immediately took a liking to Gerard over his biological son Vuel, who grows to resent Gerard so much that he attacks his father's camp, stealing all of the legacy artifacts, including Khan, who he tricks into killing an innocent child, thus converting the silver golem to a lifetime of pacifism, and flees to a plane called Wrath through a portal. Sisse hires Gerard onto the Weatherlight along with a bunch of other people, including the totally normal human Krovax, Miri the Cat Warrior, the Navigator Hannah, the
Furries exist in this universe?
Telerian graduate Urtai, and the Goblin Squee. And then they all set off to... Wait a minute, where did Sisse go? Whilst we were distracted doing introductions, she got kidnapped, of course, by someone called Volrath, and now the whole crew need to fly to Wrath to get her back. Luckily, the Weatherlight can plane shift. It's like the TARDIS, but a boat and can't do the time thing. Oh, also, the nice elf that was on the crew, yeah, he gets killed by some German children's book illustrations.
What the heck?
Wrath, an occupied world of weird adaptive rock, Gerard leads the native elves in a revolt against Volrath. Krovax's guardian angel gets corrupted and he has to kill her, and then becomes a vampire because of a family curse, and then turns evil and falls off the Weatherlight. Khan is rescued along with some other legacy artifacts, but not before being psychologically tortured by being thrown into a funhouse rotating room with a bunch of weak goblins who his massive silver body crushes to death.
Who thought of something like that? Someone get that guy some help.
Turns out that Volrath is the Phyrexianized Vuel. His own magic skyboat damages the Weatherlight's plane-shifting matrix, so they have to escape through a portal that Urtai has been keeping open. Although, when they do leave, they're being chased by Volrath's ship, so they didn't manage to pick him up on the way, and he stays trapped on Wrath as the portal closes. Where do they end up? Why,
Volrath is not Magic Satan, but he is a close third. Oh my god, how many of them are there?
Cadia, of course. It's been a while since we've seen
How
them.
many of them
all
are
of the Thran that
there?
Yawgmoth exiled here have developed a society where the descendants of their goblin servants are now the dominant social ethnic group. Remember, kids, when education is not liberating, the dream of the oppressed is to become the oppressor. The Weatherlight crew find the rest of the legacy artifacts here, a bunch of gems that had mighty morphing Power Rangered themselves into a robot god dragon. They defeat the Phyrexians chasing
Robot
them,
god
Volrath,
dragon.
and Hannah and Gerard fall in love. Then they
Of
all
course they
return
did.
home, just in time to stop the Phyrexian invasion. Oh wait, it's already started. Oh dearie me.
Is there any place in this universe that is like living peacefully, no war, everybody is just chilling?
It's invasion time, and Urza's been busy with his many projects. He's bred a race of super soldiers from Thran DNA called the Metathran to act as his personal army, because the only way to defeat one godlike eugenicist is with another, slightly different godlike eugenicist.
They're the same thing.
He also assembles a group of planeswalkers called the Nine Titans to take the fight to the heart of Phyrexia itself as Dominaria is invaded. There would have been 10 Titans, but when Urza asked a fairy to join in, the Time Mage said, "Work with you? Are you kidding me? Every catastrophe on this plane and in my life can be traced back to you. Sort your own problems out. I'm out of here."
You know what? Shout out to Teferi.
And phases out of existence, taking the nations of Zalfir and Shiv with him. Meanwhile, Hannah and Jared's relationship is going great until
Surely
Hannah catches
nothing will
a
go
Phyrexian
wrong.
plague and dies. Her
Of course she fucking did. Because, of course she did.
dad, the wizard Baron, who used to work at the Tolarian College, is distraught, and Urza's like, "Man, I'm sorry I manipulated you into falling in love and having a child with your co-worker Rain just so I could breed people with strong connections to white mana to one day become part of the legacy weapon itself by sacrificing their life for it. That's also the reason that Jared and Sisse were born as well. It was all part of Operation Bloodline, you see.
Operation
I've been clandestinely
Bloodline.
selectively breeding human beings and pulling the strings to make sure they all end up together, so I guess it's a little bit of my fault that all of this went down."
Someone kill his ass.
Sorry, that was probably a bad time to drop that some of your most beautiful life events were all instigated by me so that I could out eugenics a wizard Nazi. You gonna be okay, champ? Baron blows up the...
I can't imagine what it was like for that guy to process all of that. That's insane.
entire of the Tolarian continent with him still on it, unfortunately not killing Urza, and the Dominarians managed to push back the Phyrexians and destroy their invasion portals. Congratulations, folks, we've defeated the Phyrexians once and for all. Hey, what's that shimmering landscape seemingly coming into existence across every continent on Dominaria? Well, that's the Wrathy overlay that Yawgmoth is using to teleport the entire Phyrexian army and the plane of Wrath itself
Surely that's safe, right?
straight onto Dominaria and occupy the entire world at once. Bugger.
Yippee!
Squee gets captured by Yawgmoth and given to Krovax, who's taken Volrath's place as the Evencar of Wrath, and also to the newly corrupted Urtai as a plaything. They give him the gift of immortality just so that they can kill him forever.
That's fucking horrible. Holy shit. That's kind of hardcore.
The Nine Titans decide that now is the time to invade Phyrexia and cut the invasion off at the source, but then just a whole lot of betraying happens. Tevesh Zat, the most obviously evil of all the Nine Titans, kills
I don't know what gave that one away.
Daria and Christina of the Woods because he was
Not
secretly working
Christina!
for Phyrexia. But then Urza reveals that he knew Tevesh would betray him, and so betrays Tevesh and stuffs him in a contraption that'll...
The betrayal of the betrayal of the betrayal. And then this person betrayed this person who betrayed this one, who betrayed this one, and then betrayed this one later on.
act as a spirit bomb to destroy Phyrexia. He could have, of course, done this at any time, meaning that Daria and Christina absolutely died for nothing. But then
insane.
Urza, upon being in Phyrexia and not getting his ass beat, is like, huh, this whole place is actually kind of impressive when you think about it, and dismantles the contraption so as to preserve Phyrexia. So, you died for even less than nothing, you two. Then Gerard turns up and cuts Urza's head off for being a fucking
Oh my
rube,
God.
and also because he betrayed Dominaria because Yawgmoth promised him that if he killed Urza, he'd
Who isn't? Who isn't betraying Dominaria at this point?
resurrect Hannah. But then Gerard betrays Yawgmoth and escapes
Jesus
from
Christ!
Phyrexia.
Yeah, don't tell me Urza survived that. There's no way you fucking survived being decapitated.
With Urza's head, whose eyes being two halves of the Power Stone that he and Mishra found all those years ago, are the final pieces of the legacy weapon. Oh, and Squee kind of betrays his role as an infinite murder toy by killing Krovax whilst he's distracted with all of these other betrayals going on.
Guys, I think Urza might not be a good guy. I don't know.
Some of the remaining Titans who are still on Phyrexia blow up their own soul bombs, almost totally destroying the plane, and Yawgmoth says, if you want a job done properly, you gotta do it yourself, and invades Dominaria as a death cloud which ends up killing all life on the plane before the legacy weapon gets activated. And that's it. That's how the story ends. Jared, Urza, even Squee all dead, with Phyrexia winning an ultimate but Pyrrhic victory.
Surely this is the end of it, right?
At which point, Commodore Goth, one of the last remaining Titans, looks up in the book where all of this is written down and goes, that was a tad dreary, wasn't it? And Bolivar, another remaining Titan, is like, wait, you knew that was gonna happen? Change it, you stupid ass! So Guff rewrites the ending just as both of them are consumed by the death cloud and literally retcons the whole narrative so that Jared managed to sacrifice himself just in time to destroy Yawgmoth because Commodore Guff has the power of meta storytelling. No, this isn't a pithy gag. That's literally his planeswalker power. And after all of this, Khan ascends to being a planeswalker. Trust me, there are worse ways to end a multi-year build-up to a Phyrexian invasion. But
March of the Machine.
Now we're in a period of peace and rebuilding as Dominaria.
Yay! All peaceful and happy now, right, guys? Right?
The breather, and a magical device called the Mirari is discovered, which is said to grant great power and wishes, and the entire continent of Otaria, which means loser in Portuguese by the way, goes to war with each other over it. A lady with an unlit planeswalker spark called Jessica is born as a pit fighter and killed by her brother, who's driven mad by the Mirari. She's brought back by the Cabal, a totally legitimate business enterprise, as Phage, like King Midas, but with death rather than gold. She goes to war with the Cabal's rival, a guy called Ixodor, and an angel he created, but then gets killed again by her brother, this time because he's been working on himself and is sorry about what his Mirari madness has caused. So he stabs her with the Mirari sword that he'd previously given up and then reclaimed when he realised that leaving it in the woods was having some annihilation-style effects on the local flora and fauna. But then, because of some 20,000-year-old prophecy bollocks and the power of the Mirari now stuck in her chest, Jessica/Phage comes back as Corona, spelt with a K, YouTube.
Yeah. Because if you say the other one, I think you get demonetized.
Very manifestation of all of Dominaria's mana. But because of her Planeswalker spark, she's also able to explore the multiverse. But because of the Mirari, she's also kind of mad. Her existence and habit of leaving the plane starts to drain Dominaria of all of its mana. So Khan manages to take her to an artifact plane called Argentum and takes the Mirari out of her to destroy this version of her form, rebirthing her for a third and final time as Jessica again, and finally igniting her Planeswalker spark. Speaking of the birth of Planeswalkers, a girl called Liliana is born around here to a wealthy Dominarian family, but her brother falls sick with leftover Phyrexianitis. She meets
Phyrexianitis?
a nice man with bird motifs in the woods, and he tells her to use a special herb to preserve her brother's life. This works exactly as one could have expected, immediately turning her brother into a zombie, and the
Does anything good happen to anybody who lives in this universe?
More of that ignites her spark. Don't trust men with ravens. That's like one of the first 3 rules you learn about in forest navigation. But now we take a big break from Dominaria. Khan's on Argentum and transforms the Mirari into a metal man called Memnarch, both to watch over the plane and to keep the Mirari from falling into a villain's hands, but a single drop of Phyrexian oil leaks out of his butthole because he's still powered by
What? Huh?
Xantia's Phyrexian heart, and it begins to corrupt the plane and its new custodian. Over several decades, the oil both drives Memnarch mad and lets him grow meat on his metal body.
That is disgusting.
He renames the plane to Mirrodin, kills all the native golems, and starts kidnapping creatures from other planes to breed a Planeswalker spark. He finally succeeds with Glissa Sunstalker. Is it Sunstalker?
Sunstalker. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Hang on. Sunseeker. Yeah,
Oh.
seeking is the less creepy version of stalking. He succeeds when Glissa Sunseeker is born, but she organises with a group of other Mirrans to stop Memnarch's plans. But in a final confrontation, both the elf and the wizard are slain just as Memnarch's machine activates and wipes out all life on Mirrodin, except for that of the goblin Slowbad, who the machine accidentally implants with Planeswalker powers rather than Memnarch. Khan shows up, the barriers blocking him from the plane now gone, and offers to guide Slowbad throughout the multiverse. But the goblin decides instead to give up his spark to undo the death wave, resurrect Glissa, and return all but the non-natively born creatures of Mirrodin to their own worlds. Goblin Jesus is then, fittingly, murdered for our sins by a clan of very confused and angry goblins, and the Mirari was given to Glissa for safekeeping. She must have hid it very well, because even the writers of Magic Story have forgotten it existed for the past 20 years.
I don't blame them.
Hey, do you like cool stuff?
I do like
then why
cool
don't
stuff.
you ink a check to coolstuffinc.com?
Yo.
I don't think they accept checks. Cool Stuff Inc. sells.
Is there anywhere that still accept checks? I don't think I've written a check in like 5 to 6 years.
All the magic cards you've heard about in this video, from Slowbad to Nicol Bolas to everybody's favourite character, Niall Sylvain. Each time you look away from him, he gets a little bit closer. You can buy singles,
Oh, I don't like
sealed
that.
product, even D&D accoutrement
That
from
is pretty
them.
cool.
Did you know that One Piece has a card game? Get your copies of Charlotte Cracker from CoolStuffInc.com. Now
What?
only $4.99. It's like you're losing money by not buying it. If this video has inspired you to make the mistake of getting into Magic the Gathering, then I'm here to lessen the financial toll of that awful decision with my promo code.
Yippee!
Use SPICE at the checkout to get 5% off of any order. Why, with that code, for every 20 Charlotte Crackers you order,
You get
you'll
one
get
free
one
one.
free.
What is this one? Oh, this is rotated already. If you have less life cards than your opponent, this character gains double attack and +1 gay. Kind of buns.
How can such a
Not even kind of. I think it is buns.
generous business model survive? Thank you to Cool Stuff Inc. for sponsoring this video and for making it so easy to build Magic the Gathering decks. Get your game on today by using Spike
Cool Stuff was my LGS for about a decade before I moved. Nerd.
at checkout. The style of this ad read was
You seen Cracker
lovingly
the anime yet? No, I'm still on Punk Hazard. I'm almost done. I'm just lazy.
ripped off from the much better YouTuber Noodle. I like his work a lot, and I hope this is taken as the flattery I intend it to be, and not as intellectual theft. Anyway, back to the video!
Smash cut to Ravnica, where everything is fine. Just kidding, a civil war is about to break out because of some proper film noir bollocks. A secret 10th guild, the Demir, led by Zadek, a vampire, is planning on taking over the city world for themselves, but they're stopped and Zadek is arrested just in the nick of time by Agris Kos, a down-on-his-luck Boros cop from a failed marriage with a
Oh, I'm sold. He's hot.
drinking problem who's just one day away from retirement.
Even better.
Hey, I'm a storytelling trope over here.
Yes!
Hooray, the city is saved.
I can fix him.
But Zadek getting arrested was actually all part of the plan. Because the Demir's purpose as secretly written in the Guild Pact was to oppose the Guild Pact, Zadek's machinations were well within his guild's duties, and so his arrest breaches the magical contract which protects guilds in their assigned roles and destroys the Guild Pact entirely, which was Zadek's plan all along. But then, the leader of the Azorius assassinates Zadek in prison to use his ghost as a weapon to seize power for himself. But then, Kos, who's a ghost now because of a dragon-related incident in which he saved the city for a second time, traps Zadek's soul himself and unleashes that on Augustin, saving Ravnica for a third time. A new non-magical guild pact is drafted by Teysa Karlov to bring about an end to all of these contrivances, and a very tenuous peace is reformed on Ravnica.
Oh?
Wait, what was that sound? Oh, it's
The Mending.
The Mending.
Okay, so you remember all the space-time disasters that were going on Dominaria throughout its history? Well, turns out they've taken quite a toll on the entire multiverse, and now they need to be fixed, or everyone everywhere all at once will
God, God, there are multiverse timelines, man.
unravel and cease to be.
You don't mess with the multiverse!
Teferi, Jessica, Lord Windgrace Freyleys, and some new kids on the block, Rada and Venser, come together to close the time rifts. Both Catman and Poison Ivy die closing theirs. Teferi gives up his spark to close his, returning Shiv to Dominaria but being unable to return Zalfir. Jessica gets manipulated by Leshrac, who returns to the story just long enough to get killed by a resurrected Nicol Bolas, who came back because of the rift that he opened whilst fighting that Leviathan 1,000 years ago. Nicol Bolas uses Leshrac's life to close that rift, then Jessica dies herself, closing the rift that had been caused by her rebirth as Corona. Rest in peace, baby doll. Khan closes the final rift by going back in time to the Isle of Teleria before Baron blew it up and sacrificing his spark. He's flung back to the present and immediately feels the corrupting Phyrexian oil in his heart, which had up until this point been kept dormant due to his spark, beginning to overtake him. He uses the last of his planeswalker magic to flee to the heart of Mirrodin and contain himself there, leaving a message that none should follow. This final rift sealing not only saves the multiverse, but significantly depowers all planeswalkers. Rather than being near gods, they now must contend with only being hyper-powerful mages and warriors. They're also—
That won't cut it though. That won't cut it though.
So on cards now, which 20-something years later, everyone agrees was a great narrative move and kind of a mechanical mistake. At the same time as all of this, Kamigawa completes its digital revolution, very cool. Nicol Bolas turns up on Amonkhet and genocides the plane of everyone over the age of 5 and begins his cruel plans to reascend to become a pre-mending god.
Jesus Christ!
Whack. Liliana is guided by Nicol Bolas to 4 demons to sign her soul away in exchange for some cool full-body contractual tattoos and also eternal youth and lots of power, concerning, and an elf called Nissa is born. Ooh! On Zendikar, the young Nissa feels a connection to the world which is roiling with pain because of those 3 skyscraper-sized eldritch splinters trapped in one of its mountain ranges. Nissa goes to investigate what's hurting her world and is mind-blasted
Man, he just has a splinter.
into planeswalking to a world called Lorwyn.
Oh, that's the current set. No, that's the current set. Lorwyn Eclipse.
Swipe to Lorwyn, and holy macaroni, what a delightful Celtic-inspired world of an eternal summer's afternoon that a really cool person who's also good at sex made a totally not bloated video essay about.
Who's the really cool person who's also good at sex? I have no idea.
Everything's pretty good on Lorwyn, except for the elf Nazis who Nissa meets hunting down the plane's native
You ever play
goblins
the Digimon card game? I have, and it's fine.
The crime of being ugly. As it turns out, however, the plane has an inverted side that overtakes the world every 300 years. Nissa sees this happening and skedaddles before she's caught in the world-altering Aurora, which transforms Lorwyn into Shadowmoor, where everybody but the elves are Nazis. Is that worse? I guess.
That is worse.
Una, the Queen of the Fae on Lorwyn, knew the shift was coming and made a copy of herself that would retain her memories when the Aurora came so that she could remain in control of the world. The copy, an elf called Marilyn, was like, actually, I'ma fuck off on my own for a bit. And
that is so real.
When the Aurora hit, ended up defeating Una and restoring the day-night cycle of Lorwyn and Shadowmoor rather than it being a thrice-centennial event.
Oh my god.
Why not celebrate this victory with another baby? Tezzeret is born on Esper, a cruel artificial realm where people are partially made of metal, with the upper class's bodies being supplemented with precious Ethereum, and metal must always be recycled. He ferociously pushes to train himself and ascend the class structure, but when he's rebuffed one too many times, he tries to steal the filigree texts. Essentially this world's equivalent of the Quran, Encyclopedia Britannica, and The Way Things Work all rolled into one. But he finds the author pulled a Kung Fu Panda dragon scroll and every page is blank, and the guards try and kill him as his planeswalker spark ignites and he meets Nicol Bolas, who promises him power in exchange.
Why does everybody keep going back to Nicol Bolas? He's not a good dude.
For service. Ow, my brain! Was that an overload of fun lore knowledge? No, that was Jace Belair.
Like I said, Satan
and being born on a Tales from
all roads lead back to Nicol Bolas.
The loop-looking war world as a dirt-poor but hyper-powerful mind mage who gets trained in the art of mind thievery by the Sphinx Alahamarat.
What the fuck?
Out, however, that old Al is manipulating Jace into carrying out espionage for both sides of a civil war.
At this point, I don't remember remember who is who. I'm just listening, or like we're watching all of these events happen, and I'm just laughing at how ridiculous some of this is.
And profiteering off of it. So Jace makes him forget how to breathe, which is the sickest way a mind mage could ever kill
How do you forget how to breathe?
someone, and Alhammarate wipes the boy's mind with his last act, which causes Jace's Planeswalker spark to activate, and he finds himself on Ravnica with no knowledge of who he is. He ends up working for a multiversal
This is more confusing to me than Warhammer! Hi, Penchon! Is this MTG lore? Sometimes I forget how to breathe when I see my wife, I understand. You know what? Real.
acquisitions organization called the Infinite Consortium, ran by the most inconsistently drawn character in Magic the Gathering's entire history. What does
Someday you should sit down with some Magic lore masters and get a detailed breakdown. Spice's video is intended to condense nearly 30 years of lore in under 2 hours.
the Infinite
That is insane.
Consortium do? Well, its boss Tezzeret made a deal with the Phyrexian forces growing in the heart of Mirrodin and developed a device on Kamigawa which he then tried to use to control the spirit dragon Kyodai to enable travel between realms for non-planeswalker
What
Phyrexians.
the fuck?
But his plan fails and instead ignites the Emperor of Kamigawa's planeswalker spark, rendering both it and her memory unstable, and she disappears from the plane. Then her childhood friend Kato gets an origami robot Tanuki with a spirit inside it that ignites his spark, and he goes looking for her.
I am like actively losing my mind. What is even happening anymore?
So yeah, they do stuff like that. But Jace isn't the only baby among us. Chandra Nalav, daughter of the inventor renegades Pierre and Kieran, is born and becomes a pyromancer, which is both rare and illegal on her cog-punk India-inspired homeworld of Kaladesh. And soon a pig called Baral tracks her family down, kills her dad, and then Chandra explodes him and planeswalks to Ragatha to train in the
You know what? Shout out to Chandra.
pyromancer ways. I guess blue lives don't matter after all. Zing! A planeswalker called Vivian Reed is also born around this time on Scala, a plane that will one day be destroyed by Nicol Bolas for some reason.
Because of course it is. Nicol Bolas doesn't need a reason to destroy stuff. He just does it.
She is entrusted with the Arc Bow, both a magical database for all of her home plane's native fauna, but also a powerful weapon designed explicitly to be a weapon to destroy Nicol Bolas.
All right. That's important. Put a pin in that.
Elspeth, another planeswalker, is also born around here. G is like someone was putting chemicals in the water to turn the freaking baby's magic. It's not entirely
I don't know, people just be fucking, man.
clear where she was born, as her mother says that the plane of Capenna welcomed them, and Elspeth herself prays to Serra of Serra's realm fame, potentially meaning that they're refugees from one of the realms that the angel planeswalker visited. Either way, she has a pretty normal childhood, being kept in a Phyrexian prison for most of her life. Yes, the Phyrexians
Normal childhood.
are on Capenna as well, her spark igniting the moment before she suffers death via vivisection, arriving on the
Via what?
ancient Greek-inspired plane of Theros, finding a sword that falls out of the stars, panicking, and planeswalking away yet again to Bant, a literal evangelical crusader plane that only gets a pass because rhino monks and lion knights are dope to look at. Kithian is our last magic infant born around this time and is naturally indestructible. He runs with a crew
I'm calling it. He's the one that kills Nicol Bolas.
of trouble-quelling kids in the Therosian city of Akros and gets arrested. Growing up in a prison, he learns how to use law magic, but instead of becoming a narc, he ends up returning to a life of community defense, getting noticed by the god of the sun Heliod and given a magic spear.
Yippee!
He uses Heliod's magic to slay a zombie giant like the god asked of him, but when he tries to use it to kill Erebos, the god of the dead himself, the magic backfires, killing all of his friends, leaving him traumatized, igniting his spark, and planeswalking to Bant. The first person he meets can't pronounce Grecian-style names, calling him
What?
Gideon, and the kid just kind of runs with it for the rest of his life. Let's check in with Tezzeret. Oh no, he's gone home only to be usurped from running his consortium by Jace, and they fight, with Jace blowing up Mr. Meccano's brain as well as cutting off his liquid metal arm.
Well, that
Nicol
kinda
Bolas
sucks.
then turns up and quietly collects his
What is the
one-time
name of this isekai? Konosuba.
rival's body, Tezzeret having originally usurped the consortium from the dragon. Nicol Bolas revives him, gives him a new arm, and then brands him with a forehead tattoo to forever remind him of where his loyalty now lies. Jesus. But Jace wasn't
That's
alone.
real.
Liliana has been manipulating him, both strategically and romantically, into staging the coup. She's on her own quest to rid herself of her demon contract whilst retaining all the power it gave her, and finds a gaudy face accessory in some ogre's tomb. She uses the Chain Veil's dark magic to destroy one of the 4 signatory demons who own her soul, and also to curse another planeswalker called Garruk when the two get into a fight. Garruk fails to junt her out, and she escapes as the curse begins to corrupt him. Wait, what the pissing Nora does junt her out mean? Could it possibly be referring
What
to the
does
Shard
that
of
mean?
Jund, part of the fractured plane called Alara, where Bant, Esper, Grixis, and Naya were all once one? Gee, I wonder what would happen if they all converged together again. That's the
Surely
question
nothing bad will happen.
on Nicol Bolas's weird lips. You see, the plane was once unified, but an
Chat, you guys think I could fix Nicol Bolas? I feel like I would be very confident in fixing him. It's okay, guys. I can fix him. It's all good. It's okay. If I'm with him, he'll be a new man.
unknown planeswalker plundered the plane for mana and shattered it into 5. Now Bola seeks to reunify the shards and siphon the immense power that would generate to roid up his planeswalker spark again. He starts manipulating the magic and people of all the 5 shards into bringing about the conflux, but is ultimately stopped from succeeding by Ajani, a Leonin planeswalker and disaster magnet who uses
Shout out to the furry man.
soul magic to conjure an effigy of Bolas's soul and uses it to banish the dragon from the newly unified
That is an actual ability he has, mind corrupting skin. Odd.
plane, and all is well. Just kidding, turns out the Crusader Kingdom doesn't like Zombie World,
No,
which
guys, I think I can fix Nicol Bolas.
doesn't care for magic.
I just need to give him a little time with me. He'll be fine.
Amazon, who dislikes Reddit's idea of utopia, which wants to destroy Jurassic Park, which wants to eat modded CK3,
What the fuck
and
is
now the
happening?
whole world's at war. Let's get out of here and head to Zendikar.
We're back, baby!
Chandra arrives after having stolen a magical text called the Dragon Scroll. Sarkhan's also here, an exiled Mardu clansman from the hyper-orientalist plane of Tarkir who loves dragons so much he will one day cause genocides just to hang out with them at home.
What? Why would he do that?
He saw Bolas on Alara and
He couldn't just hang out with him without committing genocide?
because he's at a level of horny for dragons that ought to be illegal, willingly becomes his pawn and is hanging out guarding something called the Eye of Ugin, whatever
The
that
Eye of
is.
Ugin.
Chandra turns up because something about the spell she's trying to crack mentioned the Eye of Ugin, and Sarkhan attacks her but is thwarted by Jace, who turns up because the consortium was hired to retrieve the scroll from Chandra. Chandra uses the magic of the scroll to defeat Sarkhan, and it turns out that that magic is Ugin's Ghost Fire. 3
Jesus
planeswalkers
Christ.
plus Ghost Fire plus Eye of Ugin equals Eldrazi o'clock, baby! Hold on to your butts, they're about to either get mad or weird or dusty. Allegedly, this was all part
Let's
of Bolas's
go!
master plan, with him manipulating Chandra into seeking the scroll and then hiring the consortium through a proxy to hunt her down, but it's never explained how this helps him in any way, and as we shall see,
Literally makes
ends up
no
forming the very
sense.
organization that will one day defeat him. Nissa ends up rushing to the Eye along with Sorin to try and undo the damage, but ends up deciding instead to totally free the Eldrazi, hoping
Why?
that they'll just piss off into
Literally why?
her magic space or something after having been trapped for so long in her world's mountains. This totally doesn't work, although even if it had, she would have just doomed another world to being completely devoured by Abstract Galactus, and instead Ulamog the Destroyer, Emrakul the Corruptor, and Kozilek, the one who traps you in your level's geometry, starts rampaging through and destroying Zendikar. Great
Nissa, you fucking dumbass!
job, Nissa, you smell. Gideon turns up, punches a few thousand monsters, and then starts travelling the multiverse, petitioning other planeswalkers to join the fight against the Eldrazi. Kinda like a Shen Yun world tour, except Gideon isn't.
Is Shen Yun real? What? I used to see all these like advertisements for them whenever I went to the mall. They would have their own little booths, and I was always like, "Oh, it's just like a cool little like Chinese dancing thing." And then people were saying it was a cult, and I'm like, "What? What?
the uncritically accepted PR campaign of a literal cult who uses anti-communist sentiment to promote a religion whose spiritual leader claims to be a messiah sent to Earth to fight the aliens who allegedly introduced the evils of evolutionary thought, homosexuality, and race mixing to our planet. Look, I lived in London for like half a year. Seeing at least 4 of these posters on my way to and from work each day instilled a pressurized contempt in me that occasionally needs to be released or I'll suffer a hernia.
Valid.
Wait, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, Koth. Koth is a Volshock planeswalker from Mirrodin who's following Gideon's lead in asking for help with his own problem, the re-emergence of Phyrexian creatures and corruption in his homeworld. A few people, Esper and Venser, join Koth, and oh boy, do they find some shit when they arrive. People are getting oiled up left, right, and center.
Whoa! Oiled up!
Glisser's now on Team Goo. 5 new Phyrexian Praetors are winning out against the 5 respective areas of Mirrodin who were all too caught up in petty squabbles or inaction far too long after the threat became apparent, and Khan is being worshipped as the new father of machines in Mirrodin's core. The plane is almost completely lost to Phyrexia apart from a few minor wins. First, Venser gives up his spark to Khan, freeing him from the corruption and letting him escape from the plane, although dying in the process, and Koth remains to fight alongside the Mirren Resistance, a ragtag group of people from all over the world who take their protracted Mirren's war quite literally underground. Amongst them as well is a lady called Melira, who seems to be uniquely immune to the effects of Phyresis. The 5 Praetors,
she is the cure.
Urabrask, Jin-Gitaxis, Vorinclex, Sheldred, and most importantly Elesh Norn are now in almost total control of Mirrodin and rename it New Phyrexia. Bloody colonizers. We poodle on over to Innistrad now, where... Oh Christ, what's going on? The Archangel that Sorin created to protect the plane is nowhere to be found, allowing for devils, demons, and little steampunk freaks to run the show. Liliana shows up to locate another one of her 4 demon masters, Grizzlebrand, and is pursued by an increasingly mouldy Garruk. She discovers that both the Archangel and Demon Master tripped over each other and fell into the Hell Vault, and goads the protector of the prison, a lady called Thalia, into either destroying the rock or letting all of her men be slaughtered by Liliana's zombies. She relents and breaks the Hell Vault, allowing for the return of Avacyn as well as many of Innistrad's demons, one of which Liliana immediately kills. Sucks to be you, Grizzly, and whilst no one's paying attention, one extremely pissed off Core climbs out and teleports away. But we'll return to Innistrad later. What's been going on in Ravnica? Well, it's been a minute and Civil War has been delayed, but tensions are rising as Niv Mizzet, one of the last remaining original patrons of the guilds, has discovered the Implicit Maze, a scavenger quest left behind by Azor to be found and solved in case the original guild pact was ever broken, which would designate its solver as the new living guild pact of the world. Jace ends up solving the puzzle whilst dodging assassination attempts from the Gorgon planeswalker Vraska by mind-controlling all of the guild's champions during a final confrontation, which technically meets the maze's secret victory condition of somebody actually getting all of the guilds to cooperate for 5 minutes and begrudgingly becomes the living guild pact of Ravnica, essentially the district attorney for the entire world. But what happened to Elspeth, I hear you cry? Well,
but what happened to Elspeth?
Holy shit, Rowan, you're supposed to come in before the line. Jesus, how are you so bad at this? Well, she arrives back on Theros, hoping to find new meaning after what she feels is the final defeat at Phyrexia's hand that she can stand. Heliod notices her and the blade she's wielding and sets her on a quest to become his new champion, with sinister intentions. At the same time, the planeswalker Xenagos has grown bored of all the multiverse has to offer and decides to attain godhood on his home plane, manipulating the gods into warring with each other and using a great revel to ascend to Nyx. Elspeth, who accidentally killed a guy called Daxos, who she was man-sweet for. I've written man-sweet? I'm pretty sure I should have written mad-sweet, but man-sweet also does work. She kills him due to the fervor brought about by Xenagos' revel, and so follows the Satyr into the realm of stars and defeats him, only to be slain by Heliod.
Honestly, most of the people in this freaking universe can catch these fucking hands.
Because at the end of the day, all he really wanted was his sword back. Oh, and Dajani, one of Elspeth's best friends, is there, and not super jazzed by this development. Also, a fish lady called Kiora shows up and nicks the sea god's trident, and stories are written about how it was the funniest shit ever to go down.
That is not funny! What are you talking about? That is not funny!
But what's going on over on...
Taking someone's fork is not nice!
On this plane, Fiora is a Renaissance Venice-looking land whose main seat of power, the High City of Paliano, is caught in a power struggle. The good king died but then came back as a ghostly despot, and a bunch of different characters are all vying to take the throne. Let's check back in to see if any of them do so in a few years. For now though, it's... Tarkir time! Soren arrives on Tarkir looking for Ugin because he should have shown up when the Eldrazi got out of their prison, but all he finds are the bones of the long-dead spirit dragon. Bones that Sarkhan also shows up at thanks to a guided tour from the leader of the Jeskai monks, Narset. Sarkhan's now disillusioned with Nicol Bolas and hearing a new dragon's voice in his head, which he suspects is that of Ugin. Narset gets knackered by Zergo Helmsmasher, Sarkhan's bitter old boss, but before the Dragon Man can do anything, he gets transported back in time. This is where he changes fate and saves Ugin's life after his battle with Bolas. You see, originally he wasn't supposed to be at their punch-up and Ugin was slain by Bolas, but now fate has been reforged and Sarkhan puts Ugin in a magically induced coma to heal him up. When Sarkhan
Why?
comes back to the new future, dragons have become the total rulers over Tarkir, with the mortals of the plane subjugated. You see,
that's not very
Ugin's presence
cool.
on the plane created dragon storms that disappeared when he died and allowed for the mortal clans to reclaim their plane from the invading dragons.
No!
However, in this new timeline, Ugin's millennia-long coma intensifies these tempests, probably because this cocoon looks uncomfortable enough to produce magical night terrors and leads the dragons to winning a total victory over the clans. Just as a sidebar, originally in the story, Ugin was a native to Tarkir and part of its very elemental soul, and so too therefore were the dragon storms, so the politics of subjugation and domination were a bit more complicated, but then he was retconned to be Bolas's twin brother, so now he's just a Dominarian settler and the dragons are an intrusive occupying force. Anyway, in this future, all 5 of the
Who is allowing this?
clans' cultures have been destroyed or remade, their civilizations now exclusively function in service of dragonkind, any worship or even knowledge of their past reality is met with death via dragon breath, and this is a... good thing? Not sure about that. Anyway,
I don't
Ugin wakes
know.
up in this timeline to go to stop the Eldrazi, and Narset's also alive and a planeswalker now, and she teleports
I have a
away
feeling
to,
no one
I don't know,
consented.
find herself. Speaking of Zendikar, it's all hands to the pump as most of the plane has already been destroyed.
That's
An
no
all-star team
bueno.
of planeswalkers including Gideon, Nissa, Jace, Kiora briefly, and Ugin arrive to combat the monsters and destroy their material forms. Ugin warns that trapping them is better because the Titans are just physical representations of the Eldrazi and imprisoning those avatars here protects the wider multiverse, but everybody simultaneously says, yeah, how well did that work out last time? And before Ugin can point out that both Nissa and Jace are super to blame for shit going sideways.
Yeah, honestly, fuck those guys. Most of the bad stuff that's happening now is because of those motherfuckers.
In the first place, Operation Blow Up Cthulhu is enacted, with Chandra jumping in to deal the final blow to Ulamog and Kozilek, saving the day and forming the Gatewatch, a Planeswalker strike team of multiversal protectors.
The equivalent of the Avengers.
Oh, there's also the sickest scene in all of Magic's history where the demon planeswalker Obnixilis takes on all of the Gatewatch at the same time in order to destroy a trap made to capture Ulamog and regain his own spark.
The Just Us League.
And manages to almost defeat them, getting around Gideon's indestructible skin by holding his face in a puddle. I pressed his face down hard into the muddy water. He thrashed and flailed. He sputtered and coughed, struggling to get purchase. I could feel the despair and fear as his hand slipped in the mud. Invulnerability was no match for 3 inches of dirty water. Not entirely sure why the voice of Obnixilis in my head is that of a disgruntled southern dandy, but I'll be damned if I don't point out ice-cold lines when they appear. But wait, only 2 Titans were destroyed. Where's Emrakul? Well, over to the greener pastures of Innistrad, where... Fuck me, what now?
What's going on now?
Everyone's losing their minds for some reason, including Avacyn and 2 of her sisters, forcing Soren to slay his Archangel before she kills any more innocent people. Demons, zombies, and devils are making a big comeback, and a new cult worshipping a new symbol has cropped up. Jace arrives to investigate the ruckus and finds that Nahiri has been manipulating the population and the very land itself to guide Emrakul to the plane, to do to Innistrad what she blames Soren for bringing to Zendikar. She also kills most of Soren's vampire family before trapping him in a wall like how he stuffed her in the Hell Vault, a funny prank in amidst a magical genocide.
I mean, that's what he gets.
Avacyn's death breaks down the final barrier needed for Emrakul to arrive, and the Gatewatch gather to seal her away in the Silver Moon of the Plane with Liliana and Tamio's help, the former of which begrudgingly agreeing to join the Gatewatch afterwards, and Innistrad is left with just one angel watching over it. Both Nissa and Tamio report afterwards that they didn't act of their own volition, and Emrakul had manipulated them into sealing her away for some reason. However, this has never been addressed in the last 8 years of Magic's narrative, so who knows if this interesting tidbit has any plot relevance. Speaking of plot relevance, how are things going on Fiora? Well, this ghost assassin called Kaya was hired to kill the king, very cool, but as a result, an infamous native assassin has taken over the city. Less cool.
What?
Some riotous goblins, dispossessed naturalists, and ex-members of the guard are all jostling to lead a revolution against her. Which faction will take the crown? Who knows? Conspiracy 3 hasn't been released yet. Back to the actual story.
We'll find out in like 5 years.
The Gatewatch then travels to Kaladesh after being hired by a planeswalker called Dovin Barn, who wants them to run security.
Hey, I like
for the
that
Plains
version
Inventors
more.
Fair. Chandra discovers that her mum is alive and still doing cool revolutionary stuff, but she, her mum, and Nissa get captured by a severely burnt but still alive Baral and are to be executed in combat with the head judge of the fair, who, surprise, surprise, is Tezzeret. However, the sudden appearance of the rest of the Gatewatch, along with Ajani, who signed up to their mailing list a little bit earlier, causes Tezzeret to flee, and he uses the confusion to decree the seizure of all the fair's inventions, causing the entire city of Girapur to be erupted in revolution! The renegade successfully defeats the consulate, but not before Tezzeret steals the most important invention, a planar bridge, which can transport non-living material across planes by fusing it into his chest and planeswalking away. The Gatewatch follow Tezzeret and end up on Amonkhet, a world mostly populated by zombies and sand, which is coarse and dry and gets everywhere. They make it to the plains last.
I feel like that is just Las Vegas. Zombies and sand.
Remaining city, a gorgeous little slice of the world called Naktamun, where people from 5 different temples fight against each other in deadly competitions for the chance to pass from the city through the gates to the afterlife, where they are promised paradise.
Pendragon, thank you so much for the tier 1. I appreciate it. Guys, I thought we agreed not to sub until the timer was 0.
Chandra discovers a dissenter from this system,
I
Samut
appreciate it,
locked in a
though. Thank
sarcophagus,
you.
and the Gatewatch disrupt one of these murder ceremonies just as the foretold arrival of the second sun begins the apocalyptic coming of hours.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know.
Turns out, though, that
if you sub to Poseidon Mythos on Twitch, it means you hate her.
Again, both isn't spiritual and also sucks. Nicol Bolas has been turning the champions of the trials into an army
Somebody kill this man!
of ultimate warrior mineral zombies, and now he unleashes them upon what few people remain on Amonkhet. Turns out, when he killed everybody older than a baby on the plane many years ago, he also destroyed all life outside this one city and brainwashed the 8 gods into believing that these trials had always been their world's way, so they'd feed him a never-ending supply of elite warriors. Oh, and all of the worker mummies that maintain this utopia are actually the reanimated corpses of all of the adults that the dragon killed when he first arrived on the world. Wait, did I say 8 gods? Yeah, 5 gods looked after the mortals, and then the last 3 Bolas kept back to destroy the other gods and the city once they'd both served their purpose.
Of fucking course.
The Gatewatch try and defeat Bolas but fail miserably, with Jace getting brain bazookaed so hard that he planeswalks away, and what few normal survivors there are after the Hour of Devastation flee into the desert beyond the city. All of Bolas's murder machine gods attack the rest of the Pantheon, killing most of them, but the Red Jackal Hazoret's memory returns as she is saved by Samut, and when thanked by her god, the Speedster becomes a planeswalker due to pure spiritual euphoria. Yeah, it turns out you don't have to experience trauma to have your spark ignite. Go figure.
Well, you know, I think that would have been useful information earlier.
Before they retreat, however, Liliana finds and kills Razaketh, the penultimate demon her contract is connected to. The gang fucks off to Dominaria, where Nissa points out that Liliana has clearly been using the Gatewatch to go after the
Can somebody just please kill Nissa?
demons that hold her soul contract as opposed to doing anything else, and Liliana's like, that is a disgusting accusation with no basis in reality whatsoever. But since we just happen to be on Dominaria, there is this guy called Belzenlock that I kind of need to find, and Nissa leaves the Gatewatch. The rest stick around because they hear tell of the legendary Blackblade, which could be used to slay Bolas and bump into a few old faces. Joyra and Squee, who aren't old faces because they're immortal actually, Khan, who's busy searching for one of those thermonuclear serving plates to blow New Phyrexia up
He needs another one.
with, Teferi, who gets bought out of his family man retirement when Joyra gives him a power stone that holds part of his lost spark, Jaya Ballard, who reveals herself and begins to train Chandra in more powerful forms of pyromancy, and Liliana's brother Josu, who's a lich controlled by the Bells and Lock-owned Cabal. They all find the Blackblade, take a trip on the recovered Weatherlight, almost get eaten by a handsome young man, defeat Bells and Lock, and start working on their plan to take the fight to Bolas, when he just turns up and says, "You fools! Liliana's contract has a clause in the small print that
What?
upon the deaths of our 4 demon signatories, it defaults to me.
I need an attorney.
I own her soul now. You fucking idiots, you absolute rubes," and spirits her away. Then Jace turns up without a shirt on, everybody asks what he's been doing, and he says, smash cut to Ixalan a few weeks ago. Jace lands there with amnesia again and gets picked up by Vraska, who's now working for Bolas and runs a pirate ship. Girl boss alert!
Real.
She's supposed to locate the Immortal Sun, a fabled artifact which was the thing meant to imprison Bolas on this plane all those years ago, and which is also making it so that she and Jace can't planeswalk away from this tropical paradise. Instead of killing him, Vraska pities the utterly memoryless Jace and takes him aboard her pirate ship. During their travels, not only do they find the legendary golden city of Arrasa, where the sun is located, but also find each other. Yeah,
Ooh.
that's right, the wizard
They be fucking.
Pop and the Gorgon pirate are falling in love. Then, thanks to a clonk on his noggin, Jace gets all of his memory back, even the
God
stuff from
damn
his
it.
childhood that had been purged by IsamaraArt, and forgives Vraska for all of her misdeeds against him in the past. Vraska is also party to this surge in memory, becoming dismayed after seeing how heavily manipulative Liliana's relationship with Jace was. Fuck me, this story beat whips ass. A collectible card game's tie-in digital narrative has no right to be as nuanced and touching as this.
Yeah, you know what? Who did that?
Anyway, Jace wipes Vraska's mind with her consent so that she can work as a sleeper agent under Bolas for now, and Tezzeret collects the Immortal Sun using the planar bridge in his body when Vraska gives him the coordinates to it. Watley is a native to the plane who planeswalks to Kaladesh after the sun is removed and starts to date an artificer planeswalker called Saheeli there, and Azor tries to stop them all, pretty homophobic of you guy, but Jace wipes his mind and leaves him on the island that he himself arrived on. God, this guy loves fucking up Sphinx's minds. And the Sun Empire of the
Jesus
island
Christ.
of Ixalan, now in control of the Golden City, foment a desire to sunset invasion the Iberian vampires that had been trying to do a colonialism on them. Oh, my patron here tells me that the plural of Sphinx is sphinges.
Sphinges? I did not know that.
Eminem know we found another word to rhyme with orange. Hope you're tired of the good stuff, because here we get into the era of magic storytelling that made me fall out of love with the lore.
Oh no, does it get bad from here, chat? Does it go bad from here?
Let's go!
No!
War of the Spark! Bolas's minions spring into action on Ravnica. Domri Raid, an ideologically incoherent runt, is boosted into leading the Gruul clans to sow distracting chaos on the plane. Vraska kills Isperia, the guildmaster of the Azorius, so that Dovin Barnes, still bitter from the Gatewatch, doing pretty much the exact opposite of what he hired them to do, can surveil the entire city and install the Immortal Sun on the plane. Ral Zarek, a somewhat on-again, off-again accomplice, is Inception-style inspired to develop Project Lightning Bug, a means to call all of the multiverse's planeswalkers to the city in case Bolas attacks it. Kaya, a similarly non-committal minion, has taken over the Orzhov Ghost Crime Syndicate, but ends up just killing the leadership and releasing the souls of their debtors into rest. Tezzeret sets up the planar bridge, and Liliana is forced to use the Chain Veil to take control of Bolas's vast army of Eternals.
Oh
the
my
portal is
God.
open slap bang in the middle of the city, and the army begins to march through straight into Ravnica, slaughtering everybody in their path, and Ral turns on his beacon, which is exactly what Bolas wants. He turns on the Immortal Sun to prevent escape from the plane just as all the multiverse's planeswalkers begin to arrive, and Bolas
What a fucking mess, man. What a disaster.
begins to suck their sparks from their body to fuel the Elder Spell, a ritual that will combine all of their sparks into his body and give him pre-mending levels of power to rule the multiverse. Domri Raid, along with absolutely loads of unnamed planeswalkers only introduced into the narrative to die in the background, get killed off, and the Gatewatch have to mount a desperate last stand. It's all going terribly until it's not, and all of Bolas's minions are either killed, get unamnesiaed and fight him, or run away, and Bolas is defeated by the Blackblade. Oh, wait, that didn't work. Wow, that shit's garbage. But wait, Liliana is in
Yeah, who
control
made
of the
that?
zombies who are meant to be harvesting sparks, and even though she knows this will forfeit her life, she turns them and two of the resurrected gods of Amonkhet that Bolas eternalized as his personal bodyguards onto the dragon himself, ripping out his spark. Bolas tries to kill Liliana in response, but Gideon takes the burden of her contract onto himself, dying and being reunited with his childhood friends, and saving Liliana and the multiverse in the process.
Shout out to that guy.
Liv Mizzet, who died just before the invasion, is resurrected by the guilds after Jace resigns from his job and the dragon becomes the new living guild pact and arbiter of law on the plane, assuring everyone he won't play favourites, especially not to the guild he's led for thousands of years that shares his name and branding, and Ugin spirits Bolas away to his meditation realm and has held him prisoner ever since. Oh, and Dak Faden also dies. He has absolutely no impact on the main narrative of Magic the Gathering, despite being one of the story's best characters, and it's a travesty that his introduction into the canon is when he gets killed off in the trailer for War of the Spark. May God have mercy on Greg Weisman and Nick Kelman's souls. Next comes War of the Spark Forsaken, and until somebody beats me in an arm wrestle where the stakes are that if I lose I have to agree that the events of that awful garbage are canon, I simply refuse to acknowledge it.
Yeah, this just feels like Avengers Infinity War. That's what I'm feeling like.
As anything more than a hideously overpriced piece of amateur fan fiction. Dovinbarn wasn't killed off, Chandra didn't randomly decide she is and has always been straight, and Ajani didn't grin his Leonin grin. We're moving on. Palette cleanser time. Garruk is still cursed by the Chain Veil, which Liliana has now disposed of in an attempt to hide from the many planeswalkers who are on Ravnica who just want to talk.
They just want to talk, man.
Beast Whisperer has been enthralled by the Fey trickster Oko into being a helpful dog servant. Oko is a quirky agent of chaos and almost sends the whole plane of Eldraine into war by turning its king into an elk. The king's children, Rowan and Will, discover this and undo the curses both on their dad and on Garruk, only for Oko to get away, and the horrible truth about the twins' birth is revealed. Turns out their birth
here we
mother,
go, trigger warning.
who they thought was a lady who died before they were born, was actually a witch who their father whilst he was on a quest, and he was only saved when their heroic stepmother came looking for him. This traumatic revelation ignites both their sparks and they disappear, with Garruk promising their parents that he'll look after them and planeswalking away as well.
Jesus Christ!
What a good surrogate uncle. This is the last time we will hear from Garruk for the rest of the video. Wow, what a deadbeat.
Fuck that guy.
Theros Beyond Death is the next set, and let's see what the official story says happened. Well, the book never came out, and this is what we got instead, a story summary that's 20 times shorter than this entire script that, at bare minimum, does make my job easier. Elspeth wakes up dead in Theros' underworld, being tormented by a nightmare planeswalker called Ashiok, who accidentally gives her a special weapon that she uses to escape and defeat Heliod,
How do you accidentally do that?
trapping him Tartarus style, holding a big ball in the underworld. Oh, and the guy she was in love with, who she killed, comes back as a demigod, and the god of fate makes a champion to hunt Elspeth down, but he fails when she planeswalks away, so he simply planeswalks after her. Damn, they'll let anyone be a planeswalker nowadays. Let's go to a new world. Ikoria, a land of big mutated monsters, small-minded humans, and Peter wizards, except with less of the widely reported instances of animal abuse. Vivian turns up pretty much just to hang out with some cool animals, and wait, wasn't she introduced with her whole character's purpose being the wielder of a weapon specifically designed to kill Nicol Bolas? Where was she in War of the Spark? Well, you see,
what the fuck?
Greg Weisman was too busy working out a way to de-gay Chandra in his follow-up novel, and Wizards of the Coast were too preoccupied making their workers think up new products to release every other week to remember to coordinate consistent storytelling.
Oh my god, that's so real.
She didn't do anything in that story, and she's the Pokemon Planeswalker now. Deal with it.
Let's go.
Anyway, Luca is a bonder, a human with an innate connection to the monsters of the world, and is exiled from his home city, which hates bonders. He decides to use Ikoria's monsters as a weapon to destroy all of human civilization on the plane, but he gets stopped super easily by Vivian, and his Planeswalker spark ignites because of it. Oh, and the big monster rock that he was using to control the beasts of the world, that was also kind of talking to him, blows up. That's all you need to know about Ikoria. Enough of the new, let's go back to the old. Zendikar has recovered amazingly quickly since the Eldrazi almost totally destroyed it. The wiki says that this takes place only a year after Oath of the Gatewatch, and there's almost no trace of the Eldrazi, materially or socially. Anyway, a Tears of the Kingdom situation is going down, with Nahiri searching for a core super weapon in the floating sky ruins of Zendikar to quell the natural royal, even if using it will kill loads of people on the plane.
Oh my god!
You know, because Nahiri suddenly doesn't care about the people of Zendikar. Zendikar. She was in the
Literally why?
Hell Vault for too long, and now all of her favorite shops are gone, I guess, and she's decided to make it everybody else's problem as well. Whereas Nissa wants to use the machine instead to heal the world of all the Eldrazi's remaining corruption, also quelling the royal, itself an elemental response to the Eldrazi's presence. An obviously better option that achieves both of the Planeswalker's goals, but Nahiri fights against her anyway because corporate has her picture on the side of the corkboard labelled villains, so the story team have had to change the core's mentality from misled by revenge to senselessly evil. Anywho, Nissa wins, Nahiri is defeated, and Zendikar is finally healed. Also,
Let's go!
Jace is there, switching sides as if he isn't friends with Nissa and wasn't on the ground to see the last time that Nahiri had a say in how a plane should be
This might be it.
treated. It can't be stressed
This might be it.
enough how nothing in this set matters in the grand scheme of things. Kaldheim, on the other hand, does matter. Finally, some good fucking food. Kaya is hired by a mysterious individual, it's Tezzeret, to hunt a reported monster on
Wow, who would have guessed?
the plane of Kaldheim, a Norse myth-inspired world. There she discovers two things. First, that the monster is one of the Phyrexian praetors Vorinclex, who absolutely should not be anywhere but New Phyrexia and whose presence here is beyond concerning, and that Tybalt, a devil planeswalker and trickster fuckboy, has been part hired, part coerced by Vorinclex into bringing about the Doomscar, the demon apocalypse of Kaldheim. The devil's plans are thwarted and he flees the plane, but not before—
How many, like, Satan devil equivalents are in this universe? I think most of the people that are being mentioned, most of these characters are just bad people.
For Vorinclex uses the cataclysmic
Bad guys.
distraction to steal the sap of the world tree that connects all of Kaldheim's realms together. This is the one thing we didn't want to happen.
Pinchan, you weren't supposed to do
It's
that.
really
You were supposed to wait until the timer was done. Thank you for the 2 months, son. Guys, please leave me alone. I'm gonna go get dinner, lol. Bye.
the magical school to visit.
Okay, it's fine.
Strixhaven is a campus for
11
mages on the
minutes.
plane of
all
Archivos
good.
that Will and Rowan are invited to by a mysterious planeswalker called Kasmina, who's the leader of an ancient and shadowy order of planeswalkers and people with planeswalker potential. If the Gatewatch is the Avengers, Kasmina's group are the Thunderbolts.
Hey,
the
I like the
twins need to
Thunderbolts.
stop the Auric, a clan of magical college dropouts, from bringing back the Age of Blood and plunging the plane into the once unending war that they view as having spurred much of its magical innovation. Luckily, Luca is on the bad guy's side for some reason, so the twins beat them easily, but not before a World of Warcraft Kool-Aid man rips Will's leg off.
course, we
Liliana
have to
has
make sure
also
that
been
was
hiding out
included.
here after having given up the chain veil and is trying to turn over a new
Pinchan,
leaf
do
and
not
forgive
encourage
herself
my
when-
chat, please. Please don't let me have this. Let me have this, okay? We are now on, what is today? 44? Let this end at 44, please.
Raven Man pops back up and starts tormenting her again. Well, now that the Eldrazi have been banished, Innistrad surely must be doing a lot better. Can you lot handle your shit for 2 minutes? Jesus! Because Emrakul is in the moon, weird stuff to do with the day-night cycle has been going down, with the sun rising later and setting sooner. The werewolves started losing it as a result of being in wolf form far more often, and the humans of the plane have turned to a group of warlocks to bring the sun back. Arlen Cord, a werewolf planeswalker and leader of the smaller, hey, let's not kill the humans maybe, faction of the werewolves,
Maybe?
asks the Gatewatch
What
to
do you mean, maybe?
help, and Teferi Shah
Just don't kill them.
Andra and Kaya show up to find a key to turn the big make the sun come back machine back on. Unfortunately, Soren's rival, a vampire called Olivia Voldaren, nabs the key from them as a horde of werewolves disrupt the human festival aimed at stopping the final sunset, and the entire plane is plunged into eternal night. Also, Soren managed to get out of the wall off-screen before War of the Spark. Now he's back, and broodier than ever. Then Olivia
Lord.
steals and reanimates Soren's granddad and marries him. The Gatewatch crashed the wedding to free Sigarda, Innistrad's last guardian angel, kind of, another one showed up, it's not important, and beat Olivia, get the key back, and restart the sun. Teferi warns Arlen to be on the lookout for Phyrexians, and oh, what do you know? There one is! Jin Gitaxis
There
is
it
bumming
is!
about on Kamigawa with some custom trousers. Peep the fit. Yet another Phyrexian Praetor being off their home plane is very worrying indeed, and Kato returns. As it turns out, everybody's favourite
Holy fuck, where was he this whole time?
Master Tezzeret is the reason Gitaxis and the other Praetors are planeswalking, and he has a bone to pick with old Tezzy Boy, the person who Apple watched his childhood friend into the metaverse. Tamio
That just sounds like a regular Tuesday, my guy.
turns up, tells Kato that the planeswalker known as the Wanderer is his old friend, and the pair help her return to Kamigawa to fix her spark. Unfortunately, their plan is cut short as Tezzeret and Gitaxias ambush them, kidnap Tamio, and the Wanderer's spark pulls her into a new world. Kato follows after her, and Tamio becomes the first planeswalker to ever be completed by Phyrexia.
Wah!
Previously, planeswalkers
Lily! Thank you so much for the raid! Welcome in, raiders. For those trying to hear, hi, my name is Poseidon, the goddess of the seas, earthquakes, and horses, and I'm a VTuber, the VTuber now, agency Mythos. I really like trading card games, and I really like Pokemon, and I have really bad brain rot. Welcome in! I hope you had a wonderful stream. Resnick, thank you for the 28 months. Guys, we have 10 minutes left. Let me finish the last 10 minutes of this goddamn subathon, please. Wait to sub until after it hits 0 and it's over. If you sub to Poseidon Mythos, it means you hate me. How the fuck did we go from like 9 minutes to 3 hours again? What the fuck? The 50 was enough. 1978, what the fuck? Where did you come from? Thank you for the 50 gifted. Frosty 8 Gators, thank you for the 5. Midnight Castle, thank you for the 6 months. And Mac, thank you for the 25. Brother. I thought you guys liked me. I thought you guys liked me. Where I wanted to end today? What? Why you can't leave us? When does the subathon end? We've been on the subathon for 4 months. What's the hype trade record? I think it was like level 17 or something. I don't remember what my highest hype trade was. Oh my god, we raised the timer, leave me alone. Dude, yeah, you're right, by the time my 3rd anniversary comes around, I'm still gonna be in subathon. Oh my god, brother. Thank you guys, what the fuck? It's like the Eric Andre meme where he's like, let me in, but it's the opposite. I'm just like, let me out! Let me out! We'll end this one right in time for the next one.
Sparks had staved off the corruption of Phyrexians, but Gitaxias' time
Let's finish this video.
on Kamigawa had revealed to him a way to negate it. Ruh-roh, Raggy. The Phyrexian threat is growing, and Elspeth travels back
No,
home to
Midnight Castle, you're on timeout.
the city of New Capenna, and now 1920s
No one is allowed to use the 100 sub
a
button.
hyper-romanticization of early 20th century worker exploitation, mob violence, and the lie of the American dream to search for a means to defeat Phyrexia. The plane had previously beaten back a Phyrexian invasion by using Halo, a substance derived from angels that acts not as a cure but as a weaponizable immunizing substance against Phyresis.
Is it like their blood, their essence. Someone used the 100 subs. Brother, no. Brother, no. Brother, no.
But someone else is looking for Halo. That's right, it's old reliable Tezzeret, and he's brought Urabrask, the heretic praetor who, what's this? Is in almost open rebellion against the new Phyrexian cause and wishes to use Halo to tip the balance of power in the rest of the multiverse's favour? Tezzeret, you old dog, you're doing a double cross. How quaint. Could have done that before you kidnapped a lady who ran a storytelling orphanage and subjected her to a surgically experimental unlife, but better late than never. Elspeth finds the source of all of Capenna's Halo, which is a single young, seemingly mortal angel, the last one on the plane, called Gaida, who sacrifices herself to save Elspeth from the clutches of Obnixilis, who has supplanted
She can if this one doesn't end. The one time I do an uncapped subathon, this is what happens!
One of the city's demon-run crime families. Her sacrifice also sends a pulse throughout the world, returning the rest of the plane's angels, trapped as they were in the city's many statues by the demons who once fought alongside and ultimately betrayed them during the Phyrexian invasion, to the waking world. Like preview season, the train never stops, and we're back on Dominaria, where Phyrexia is invading yet again. Khan has found a Silex that he plans to use to destroy his enemies, but oh no!
Wasn't 4 hours enough? Wasn't 4 hours enough? Wasn't 4 hours enough? How the fuck are we up to 5? Lilac Puddikins, thank you for the 20.
Sheldred is back and longer than ever, and Ajani throws Jaya off a mech on a mountain because it turns out he too has been completed and is under Elish Norn's direct thrall. Khan is recaptured but is now immune to Phyrexia's corruption, so instead he's disassembled and his Silex is scrapped for 2 colorless mana.
Not the stupid ass fruit ball. Please stop. Anonymous, thank you for the 10.
Whilst all of this is going on,
Let me
Liliana
out,
finds
please.
out that the Raven Man who's been tormenting her all of her life is actually the spirit of the necromancer Limdor. Yeah, I knew that mentioning him way back in the Ice Age plot would be relevant.
What the hell?
Kind of. Now lacking
Here
a
forever,
Silex, Teferi
no.
sends his soul back in time to the age of the Brothers' War, not to interfere, even if his time ghost does interfere just a little bit, but to work out how to recreate and then use the Silex, because the Gatewatch had kind of been winging it up until this point. The Artificer Planeswalker Sahili manages to recreate a filigree copy of the Silex from Teferi's instructions, but he gets caught in a time fracture and ends up trapped and phased out on Zalfir. Hey, at least he got to see it again. With that, now
nice.
it's time to take the fight to Phyrexia.
Do we stretch goals? We are about to hit the original song one.
Look how they massacred my boy. All right, Phyrexia, you went too far this time. A strike team of Elspeth,
no.
Jace, Vraska, Nissa, Nahiri, Kato, the Wanderer, Kaya, and Tyvar Kel, an elf from Cal.
Oh my god, it's like Avengers in Infinity War.
Kaldheim all join forces to take out Phyrexian leadership and detonate Sahili Silex in the core of the world.
God, it's the goddamn fruit bowls.
Unfortunately, Luca also decided to tag along, so the plan goes horribly. Half of them get completed, and Elspeth has to eat the Silex as Jace sets it off, because Elish Norn grew a Phyrexian version of Kaldheim's world tree that's connected it to the rest of the multiverse, and if this plane is destroyed, all other realities may be blown up too. Hey, at least a corrupted Tibalt gets killed. Fuck that guy. Oh,
You know what? Real!
also,
That guy deserved it
find
too!
out the entire reason that Tezzeret has been working with the Phyrexians is so that they'd replace his strong Ethereum metal body with indestructible Darksteel, and the reason that he was also working against them was because he wanted to enjoy his new body in a multiverse without Phyrexian control, essentially selling out the entire known multiverse for some new rims. Speaking of those other realities, it's time for them to get...
Stop! Guys, please, it's been enough, okay? It's enough! Sarnio, thank you for the 5K.
got. Norn sends the corrupted Angel Atraxa to New Capenna to stop the once-defiant plane from being a threat. She then has Ajani execute Sheldred to consolidate more power in her hands, and sends him to corrupt the plane of Theros, where, whether he's aware or not, the Leonin repays Heliod's betrayal of Elspeth by turning all of his believers, and then him as a result, into Phyrexian monsters. The
That's not
completed
very
Vraska
good.
goes to Ravnica, Tamio attacks Kamigawa, Nahiri goes to Zendikar, Jace wanders off, and the
Why is Jace always doing that?
Entire Phyrexian war efforts.
Jace is like on his own side quest like all the goddamn time.
Spreads across every conceivable.
What happens when we reach 1400? 1400? What do you mean?
Plane of reality.
Jace is role-playing Zoro? Dude, Jace might be Zoro.
Unfortunately for them, however, Luca is now on their side, so they're beaten so quickly and easily that the entire invasion doesn't even last one set. All of the Phyrexian invasions ultimately fail. Well, not quite. They pull a War of the Spark, where planes we've never seen before are brought into the story only to act as off-screen casualties to imply a greater threat that is actually occurring in the narrative.
Jace is Mihawk. I love that you guys are trying to equate this to One Piece.
Everywhere that matters, however, does beat Phyrexia, whilst mysterious shadows seem to watch events from afar. But how do they win? First, Phyrexia's Worldbreaker tree is commandeered by the Dryad Planeswalker Ren thanks to a final assault from both the Mirren Resistance and Urabrask's 5th column, and she uses the branches of the
timer
tree
only Twitch subs
to reach out to Teferi, finally reconnecting Zalfir with the rest of the multiverse, and the whole plane portals their way into the heart of New Phyrexia. Angels run Halo from New Capenna, whose citizens dropped a city block on Atrax's head to kill her, to the rest of the multiverse via Worldbreaker, and the invaded realms immediately begin pushing back against the invaders. At some point in all of this, Urabrask's forces are captured and the poor guy gets dismantled. Ren isn't done, however, and rather than just connecting Zalfir and New Phyrexia, she instead begins to swap their positions in the multiverse, which will lead to the latter phasing out of existence. Elspeth also turns
all roads lead back to the fucking multiverse. Midnight Castle, do not threaten me right now, brother! Do not do it!
Up because her story was not yet done or something, and she's an angel now and beats Elishnorn up real bad. Khan also reassembles his broken body and deals
you guys for the level 12 hype train.
The killing blow to the now
Stop instigating him!
defeated Mother of Machines, which causes... God, this sucks. Which causes anyone and everyone across the multiverse affected by the Phyrexian oil to shut down. Norn apparently reprogrammed all of the Phyrexian oil to be centrally controlled by Phyrexia or something like that, and so when she died and the plane phased out, it, I don't know, forgot.
What is wrong with the goddamn oil in this fucking universe? You're getting all these subs because you're asking for Mpreg of your boss.
How to oil?
Mpreg. See, I want to request Mpreg art of Trey with him lactating at the same time.
To be clear, I'm not mad at the writers for ending 30 years of storytelling with an Independence Day plot contrivance, even though the entire point of Phyrexian oil is that so long as one drop exists, Phyrexia exists.
Alright, never mind. Maybe we should just suck up all the oil or something, get rid of it.
The company that makes the game, and most likely more...
Think about it, all roads lead back to lactation.
Importantly, the company that owns them, deciding that a never-ending cycle of new products and lowest common denominator brands...
Wait, chat, is this a real card? I've never seen this before. What the fuck? What did the stranger... Was there a Stranger Things said? This is so funny to me. This is so funny to me. Your maximum hand size is 11. Whenever 11, the mage attacks, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Then, if you have 11 or more cards in your hand, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand without paying its mana cost. Friends forever. You can have 2 commanders if both have friends forever. What other commanders have friends forever, my guy?
Tie-ins are more important things to pursue over maintaining a once-rich legacy of brilliant storytelling in a unique world. Invasion Block was a 3-set epic that lasted nearly an entire year of magic and told the story of Phyrexia in...
So are you saying that the Stranger Things universe is in the same universe as all of this?
Invading a single plane. In contrast, the time between Phyrexia launching their multiversal invasion at the very end of All Will Be One to them being completely wiped out from existence at the end of March of the Machine.
What the fuck, Love Kips? What did you just send me? Oh my god. Brother, you have that
past
card?
2 months. We have spent more time and cardstock
Midnight Castle, you
exploring
better be.
D&D's forgotten
You better not. Do not give me stuff.
realms than we have
Bye,
in
have
the
a
midst
good
of
day.
what ought to have been the single most important and game-changing event in Magic's narrative since the original defeat of Phyrexia in Apocalypse.
That's nice.
Good grief.
Jesus
Anywho, a
Christ.
gravely injured Melira gives up her life and Khan gives up his spark, both their respective tasks in life complete with the destruction of Phyrexia, to heal and uncomplete Nissa and Ajani. But then Nahiri wakes up on
Somebody please just kill Nissa.
Zendikar, also uncompleted, so... Sorry, Melira, you died for nothing. Turns out getting exploded with Halo and losing your spark is enough to reverse the effects of Phyrexian oil. Maybe. Wait, she lost her spark? Well, the many portals snapping into and out of existence throughout the multiverse has also messed up the sparks of many planeswalkers, causing characters like Nissa and Nahiri, but also Obnixilis, Kiora, Calyx, Tyvar, and some other chucklefucks to all lose their spark and planeswalker status.
Oh my
In the
God,
aftermath of the
no.
war, Jace and Vraska are AWOL, and a bunch of the planes are having to readjust themselves.
You know, I don't know if I like Jace anymore.
Like Eldraine, where a sleeping spell aimed at subduing the invaders has persisted and is causing problems throughout the land.
Do you think we don't
plants
love
a
you?
single seed, which is all that remains of Ren, who burnt up in the...
I don't know, man. I think you guys like seeing me destroy.
Worldbreaker into the soil of Zalfir, and the whole invasion has left Omen Pass throughout the multiverse, meaning that non-planeswalker interplanar travel might be an option going forward, and Chandra finally kisses Nissa, happy Pride.
Yes!
See,
Sorry.
I told you Forsaken wasn't
You know what? Nissa's fine. I give the lesbians a pass.
canon, and that's where we're at. What lies next for Magic's story? How will the...
Let's see. When was this video made? Nearly 3 years ago. I don't even want to know what else is
aftermath of
going
such an
on
event
now.
shake out? Who will be the next grand menace of Magic's narrative? Will Tezzeret follow in Bolus's footsteps? Will the Eldrazi return? Will Limdul's machinations expand? Will Nahiri's hatred of planeswalkers turn into something which threatens the multiverse? Will the cult that Kasmina's in charge of do something? Who were those watchers during the March of the Machine? Whatever happens, I can't wait to get my hopes up that the writers will be given time and space to produce interesting work, only to yet again be disappointed by the breakneck speed at which the company insists that a quantity of cardboard is better than a quality and richness of lore. I hope you can
That is just, I feel like, what sums up most companies now.
appreciate that, what with this video already being over an hour long, a lot of Magic's deeper lore had to lie on the editing bay's floor, like Daragaz and the other primeval dragons rule, or all of the cool side characters like Nico, Tygam, and the travesty of what happened to Venser. If I had included all of that, then the video would have been far more comprehensive, and I would also still be writing the script for it long into next year. But here is where I do want to get a little bit soppy. The most popular video on my channel is both also the first video I ever released, and
Aw.
also singularly the most viewed video on the internet on the topic of Magic the Gathering's story. It is also, with the benefit of hindsight and my now years of
The
experience
drop of cloud, thank you for 21 months.
writing, recording, and editing videos together, not very good. I've always wanted to make a new version of it, something that I could be more proud of, and something that does a far better job of efficiently retelling Magic the Gathering's vast lore with better audio quality. And when I hit 100,000 subscribers at the start of this month, I knew this is how I wanted to celebrate it.
Aww.
Thank you all for watching. Be it that this is the first video of mine you've ever seen, or if
It
you're
is.
one of the first handful of people who subscribed to me almost half a decade
I like
ago.
this guy.
Without your eyeballs and without the generosity of everybody who supports me on Patreon, I would not have gotten this far and been able to reassess my work in this grand of a way.
Aw.
A massive thank you to you all. And an extra special thank you to all of my $10 patrons.
This is like
who
credits at the
include
end now.
1, 2, 3, 4, I declare a class war.
Shout
3,
out to everyone that subbed to this guy. Also, I'm gonna sub to him now. Shout out to me then. But yeah, I think that was the end. Oh my god. Overall thoughts? Fuck Nissa, and I can fix Nicol Bolas. I can fix it. Yeah, the story of Magic's wild. Like, I don't remember most characters, and I'm just like, wow, that's bad. Oh, that's not cool. Oh, wait. This entire plane is exploding now. Great. I don't think Nicol Bolas cannot break me. He cannot break me, but I can fix him. I need someone to draw me kissing Nicol Bolas. You know what? Here, I'm going to tweet it too. I can fix Nicol Bolas. Swear. Nicol Bolas. Lactating. Oh my god. No, Posey, you can't. Yes, I can! Yes, I can! I can fix him! Never look up Nicol Bolas's name in Portuguese. Why? What's his name in Portuguese? You know what? Because you said that, now I have to Google it. I don't know where, what? I'm so confused. People in Portuguese call him Bolas? How? Testicles? Does Bolas translate to testicles? Oh no. Nicol balls. Nicol testicles. Bolas equals balls. I love my little Satan of balls. Oh my goodness. Also, guys, how the fuck? We went from 10 minutes to 5 hours. Over 5.5 hours, nearing 6. How did we get here? How did we get here? I don't even think the freaking timer has been this high in a while. Oh. It's like me doing like the Shinji chair. That's like my favorite thing to post on Discord. It's just me doing the Shinji chair. This one, let me see, fine. Me every time I go live on twitch.tv/Poseidon Mythos. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is my Shinji chair? This is me every time I go live. This is me every time I click start streaming. No, Chad, I don't hate you. I just you know what I hate? I hate that you guys love me so much to put me through pain. I'm flattered. I'm flattered. You guys love me so much. All right, chat. I have to go pee. So please behave while I pee. Please don't do anything silly funny while I go piss. All right, promise? Okay, I'll be right back. Oh, shit. Oh, my bad. Hold up. Wait. That's not, wait, what did I do? Oh, no. Oh no. Oh no. I'm off the screen. My V2 studio decided to freak it. Oh no. Oh, there we go. We're chilling. Wait, I told you guys you needed to behave! What the fuck happened while I was gone? How did I come back to almost 7 hours? How did I come back to almost 7 hours? I see you guys trying to build a ladder. I see you guys trying to bury the evidence. No, 1978, please. I've been a good goddess. Okay, I'm sorry. If I stop screaming and I'm nice and I am a good goddess for the rest of the subathon, will you stop? Will you stop? Blame the can of beans. What did the can of beans do? What did the can of beans do? We don't give your tribute. You'll send earthquakes at us. Okay, listen, the San Andreas fault, that's inevitable. I can't do anything about that. I can't do anything about that. That was inevitable. I need favorable weathers for my travels. What? Listen, you want good weather? That's Zuzu's. Can you say something nice about yourself? I am bonita. See, I am bonita. See, I can be nice to myself. All she could do is poke the tectonic plates a little. See, I'm afraid if I touch it, it's gonna explode. I'll behave. I just don't think the other shipwrecks will probably keep going. What happened with Odysseus didn't give you tribute? 10 years to go home. True. Low key though, Odysseus shouldn't have messed with my Cyclops son. Thank you, 1970 for the 20 gifted, and also Sarkio for the 5. Oh, you guys, please. Why? We can talk about this, alright? We can talk about this. We can negotiate. Hear me out. We could end subathon and agree not to add more time. And in exchange, I will be a say-so goddess for the rest of my streaming career. How does that sound? I think that is a fair trade. I think that is very fair. Sounds like a net loss. What do you mean? We need to at least get to the original song. It's just there. Yeah, we're like, what is it, 10 subs away from that goal? Okay, we can hit that goal and that's enough, right? That's enough. Oh my god. Crying emoji. Anonymous, thank you for the 10. I guess we're getting the Poseidon original song. Yippee! I'll tell my manager to get started on production then. Yay! I already have an idea of what I want, but I won't tell you guys. Alright, last soft goal, right? Last soft goal, right? Last one, right? Hold up. Trey should consider us a menace. You know what? I should call Trey right now. Where is Trey? Should I call Trey, chat? Hold up. Guys, he's not answering. Maybe he's pissing. Trey, I'm on stream.
Mm-hmm.
I have a proposal.
Okay.
Okay. So, can you if I I want my chat to please stop raising the timer. If they stop raising the timer, can we at least give them Mpreg Trey art with you lactating?
The fuck?
So is that a yes?
No. Chat, raise the timer more.
No, please! Trey, please. Then you have to give them what they want. They want Mpreg Trey with
want
lactation.
to raise... Nah, I think they want to raise the timer.
No, they don't. No,
yes,
they don't. Stop!
Thank you, 19.
Stop!
Thank you.
Stop!
Thank you. Raise the timer. Yep,
No, Trey, please try to convince them. Okay. Mpreg lactation art, do you understand how much merch we could sell?
None. There ain't no one's gonna buy that. They're all the trick
I would.
you.
Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can get those like Dakimakura pillows, keychains, posters. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, so you want me to suffer? Nah, no, thank you.
Yeah, but you're the CEO. You have to.
Yeah, I had the CEO. I say, guys, raise the timer. It's better you to suffer than me.
Why? Listen, we can talk about this, Trey. We can negotiate this.
All right, let's negotiate.
All right. Okay, I'll take out the lactation. It's just Mpreg.
Aren't you going to school for business? You have to do better than that.
What? You know what? I recognize that Mpreg art is what the people want.
All right, chat. You get Poseidon pregnant art.
No, please, actually no. I literally was telling chat earlier. I'm not pregnant because I'm drinking caffeine. You can't drink caffeine while you're pregnant.
That a thing?
Yeah, because this energy drink I'm drinking, it says do not drink if you're pregnant or you're nursing. And I was like, good thing I'm none of those.
So anyway, chat, so do you guys want to raise a timer or get pregnant sci art?
Ooh, you know what? I'd rather give them the pregnant sci art. Okay, chat, you can't say both. You can't say both. You have to choose one.
Mods, make a poll. That's how we're gonna decide this.
No.
And you cannot.
You know what? Maybe. You know, I think we could. I think I'd rather be pregnant. Cause Trey, we went from 10 minutes. We went not even. I think we're at 9 minutes on the timer, and we are somehow up to 8 hours. I don't know how that happened.
Girl, it's Friday. I could have told you that one.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
It's payday for almost a lot of people. That's why you fell for this one.
Oh my god. Judah, thank you so much for the raid.
Well, that's the perfect time to raid. Judah, you must vote. You have to vote too.
What? Oh no. We have to talk about this later, Trey.
Well, you look at that chat. I'm going on vacation until Sai forgets about this.
I'm never gonna forget about this, Trey. I will.
Oh, you will.
I want my Mpreg Trey lactation art.
Why?
Because I think it's funny.
It won't sell.
Yes, it will.
No, it will not.
You know why? I'm gonna commission this art and get it printed as a playmat, and then we can sell it.
It won't sell.
Yes, it will. I want to see everybody using Mpreg tray playmats.
You know what? I'll make you another deal.
Okay.
if we make this and the items at least get a minimum of 50 items sold, this item has to sell 50 times. If it doesn't, you're starting a new subathon, and we're starting it to subathon with 200 hours.
No. What?
So either we end this subathon, you get the chance to prove me wrong with the impreg. But if it doesn't work out, we're restarting another subathon, and you're at 200 hours.
You're offering me jail time. You're literally offering me jail time.
Yes.
See, but here's the thing. If you say that, no one's going to buy it.
I mean, you can get 49 people to buy it, and then one person doesn't buy it, and then you have to do it.
I don't know if I'm confident in that. It isn't
This is
jail,
your
it's
fault.
community service. How is this my fault?
You started a subathon.
Listen,
So it
okay,
is your fault.
I'm seeing so dead ass, Trey. I thought it was gonna last like a week.
I don't know how many times you told me this, and it lasts longer than a week.
Listen, this is the first time I've done something like uncapped too. I was just like, let me just uncap it just for the silly funnies.
I warned you. I warned you, chat. It's different when you put it on cap.
Oh my god.
By the way, so far, Raise the Timer is winning.
I'm crying. Is it really?
It's 18 to 10.
You are. I exist only to suffer. As
Yes.
literally my only point of existence.
Why did I just see a Pokemon in the background? What the hell just happened?
Oh, I had the Furret walk on. I usually keep that on while I'm on BRB. Every time I go pee, I turn on this video and my chat loves it. They're like iPod kids. I put on this video and they go, ooh, ah.
I'm not surprised. You're an iPad kid.
You know what? I think I am.
You think?
Yes. I cannot eat dinner without like watching a YouTube video.
Oh, God.
I cannot. I just have conditioned myself.
And how you gonna act at off time when we all go out to eat? I'm gonna make sure you don't have your phone on you. I'm gonna take away your phone.
I will be on my best behavior at off, I swear.
I already heard stories of you laughing out loud at a Denny's.
My friends don't take me out anymore. They don't want to take me out because apparently I'm too loud. I don't mean it. I'm literally just Filipino. Like Trey, it's just it's encoded in my genetics.
No, that scares me because I think most of our staff are Filipino, and we're all
We
gonna
actually
go
have a
out
lot
to
of
eat.
staff that are Filipino.
So that scares me. That knowing I might as well get ready to get kicked out of places.
Oh my god, no! They raise the timer.
Oh, there we go. So no impact art of me or you. So they raise the timer. Chat, you know what to do. Make it last another week.
I'm gonna go suffer now, Trey. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Anytime you need me to come and convince chat to make you suffer, I'll be happy.
Any final words before I disconnect?
You stink.
What the hell? I will have you know I put on deodorant this morning, chat. I will have you know I put on deodorant and I took a shower before I went to bed last night. Also, is Meeks still here? Meeks, you should play Commander with me. Crying emoji. I did not expect the timer to go up to 8 hours today. That is actually fucking insane to me. Was it seaweed deodorant? I'll have you know it's Arm & Hammer. I like using Arm & Hammer. What the fuck? Anyways, should we keep reacting? Listen, I had a plan today. All right? I wouldn't want to do anything. Actually, uncomfortable. Oh, would you consider putting preg art as your sub goal? Pregnant art? People can just draw that just cause. You want official side pregnant art? Oh my god. I too love the baking soda deodorant. Hey, it's good. Arm & Hammer makes good deodorant. I love Arm & Hammer deodorant. Yeah, I do have a spicy tag. Official side preg art, please. Oh, man. Is the stream over? Unfortunately, we have 8 hours on the timer. This stream is nowhere near over. I exist only to suffer. Family Maxer would probably do pregnant sigh. What does Family Maxer even mean? What does that even mean? If you get side preg mart for merch by the end of the month, I will sell it at Offkai. Stop! No, please! No! I don't want anybody. Why are you selling pregnant Ornament merch? Is merch why? What the fuck? What do you mean only 8 hours left? That is a what do you mean only? That's a lot. That's a lot of hours. What are you talking about? That is a lot. We game the system. We both raise a timer and get art. That's at least 2 streams. All right. 2 streams doesn't sound that bad. I can do 2 streams. We'll end on day 46. Trust. 5, we could do like an hour and a half stream and it'll be like 5, we could spread it into 5 streams. Assuming no new subs. Like I said, if you hate me, you subscribe to Poseidon Mythos. If you love me, you leave me alone. You let the Tyra go down. Prehistoric emergence. Who are you? At least no one will raise a timer to make it to day 6, 7. 6, 7. Not 6, 7, brother. Not 6, 7. Showing you tough love. Hey, you know what? I respect that. I do respect that. I do respect that. Oh my god! Of course you had to put it back up to 8 hours, Trey! Of course you did! Of course you did! How did we get here? We have videos. We still have videos. Sai, we love you now. Go get that Mpreg art. No, I'm not paying for that Mpreg art. I'm not paying for that Mpreg art. Oh. All right. We gotta lock in, chat. We gotta lock in. We're back with more D&D and React. I was recommending Joe Cat's A Crap Guide to D&D 5th edition. I heard these are fun to watch. I was recommended this by my YouTube manager. Shout out to that guy. Anyways, we're gonna be reacting to A Crap Guide to D&D by Joe Cat.
Of my easy-to-miss social life is dying, and I also want to argue about how pop culture characters fit into alignment charts, so it's time to make like a bunch of famous voice
I think Matt Mercer's so sexy, by the way.
actors and Dungeons & Dragons. Odds are plenty of you dorkbags have heard of the hobby, but have as little understanding about how it works as anyone over 60
You know, I have my fair bit of experience playing D&D, but I'm not super duper knowledgeable in it.
has about being
I've
content
always
with
been interested, though.
living as a single childless adult who doesn't care about where they live so long as it's a roof over their head and the neighbors don't shout out racial slurs. Unless it's at half-elves, the filthy, knife-eared mongrel mutts. So print out some character sheets, go shopping for some loaded dice, pack some expired snacks, call up all those friends you
I do own a few sets of D&D dice, not because I actually use them, but I think they're pretty cool.
can only tolerate, and put on your favorite wizarding hat. It's time to do some motherfucking role-playing. Welcome to A Crap Guide to D&D. Do you like hitting things? What am I saying? Of course you do. Everybody does. I most certainly do. All the time. Like now. And hitting things is the best thing about D&D. You can hit literally anything you want. Better yet, you can hit it with a big fuck-off axe while flying into a bloodthirsty rage so potent you could be forgiven for mistaking it for some kind of super rabies. The Barbarian is the best class for hitting everything and everyone hard enough they explode.
Oh god, I did a campaign once, or I did like a one-shot once with someone who was like an elf barbarian, and his whole shtick is he just kept running into walls.
Into a huge puff of confetti or a shower of blood and organs. What's the difference? They're pretty much the same thing. You get a D12 for your hit die, one of the only times you'll ever use a D12. But it does mean you'll be soaking up hits better than my pillow soaks up tears after I take a look in the mirror for a few seconds. You start with just about every important combat proficiency and any weapon of your choice. And if you're taking recommendations, I highly suggest going for the dual-wield chainsaw shotgun laser earrings with detachable missile launchers and drink dispensers. Ooh.
Can someone get me that,
Ooh,
please?
and they have built-in cup holders. Look at that. No tool proficiencies, but who cares? Nobody uses tools anyway. You pick them to add to your character for backstory purposes and then forget they exist because you only ever roll for skill checks anyway, you lazy, thoughtless gobblebright. Yes, I just made that up, and it's what you are, you stinky feigl bitch. In fact, who even needs armor? Your pure, unadulterated chutzpah will block enemy blows better than even the shiniest of chainmail bikinis. Better yet, you have spider sense, which assists in you avoiding traps, spells, obligatory social events, and laundry. And of course, the signature trait of the barbar is being able to enter a ferocious frenzy of force that foes will fear for all their fannies. During your rage, you may be easier to hit, but at the game that you are better at hitting everything else. And not just that, your muscles grow to the size of Cragface Garmoofies.
That's amazing.
You're just fucking jacked.
Up word.
I don't care that the things I'm using for analogies aren't real.
If you think about it, all words are made up.
Intelligence is a dump stat anyway. That's why mine is the number that comes after 3. And now you know how to play Barbarian. You're welcome.
Just oonga boonga, hit.
Frail spellcasters, whack. Close quarters combatants, whack. Immobile tanks, whack. Me, I'm tight as fuck. First time playing D&D, I realized I'm too cool for any sort of specialized role. But that was only because I hadn't figured out that there's only one way to play it right. With a sword in one hand and a harp in the other, shouting my greatness from the rooftops, laying bitches and slaying witches. Or is it laying witches and slaying bitches? I can't quite remember.
Either or, man.
I was too busy giving the tavern owner a reason to stay in business. Welcome to A Crap Guide to D&D. Jack of all trades, master of none is still better than someone who only has one gimmick and has to hide for the rest of the fight because they've run out of class features and spell slots. If the sword and shield were an RPG class, it would be the bard, one that's good
I love bards!
at doing everything and doing everyone. You can cast spells, learn tons of skills, support allies, harm enemies, harm allies, support enemies, woo crowds, boo crowds, and most importantly, lay dragons. It's the most versatile class, and its various archetypes allow you to fill literally any role, so who even needs anything else? Need DPS? College of Swords. Need a tank? College of Valor. Want to make rogues useless? College of Whispers. Need to get good at the game? College of Sit Down, Shut Up, and Listen. Your most important feature, Bardic Inspiration, is like the little girl Wolverine version of the Big Daddy Logan, and is absolutely game-breaking. By being
that is horrifying.
a radiant concentration of pure awesomeness, you can allow anyone else an additional die to roll and add to almost anything. Think that weak-ass wizard won't be able to make the con save against that poison attack? Inspired! The fighter needs to land the killing blow on an
Shout out to bards!
enemy with a high armor class. Inspired! Your wingman just told you about a hot piece of sliz that walked into a high-class tavern and that he needs you to hype him up to be able to talk his way in and maybe nab a few extras on the way out for you. You best bet your ass that homie's gonna be inspired! In fact, screw your wingman, you can do it yourself. Jack of all trades and expertise means whatever you're bad at, you're suddenly suddenly good at, and whatever you're good at, you're suddenly unbelievably amazing at. Nothing can stop you, well, maybe except a pretty face. By playing
real.
D&D, you automatically sign an unwritten contract that forces you to write your character to fall under the purest stereotype of whatever class you pick. Everybody knows you have to follow that contract, or else Matt Mercer will sneak into your house and throw
Alright, so I'm not following that contract.
foam noodles at you from the corner of your living room.
Got it, I'm not following the contract.
All wizards
By the way, I'm hosting a Matt Mercer lookalike contest in my bedroom at 9 p.m. Pacific time tonight.
are smartass eggheads, all rogues are kleptomaniacs, and all bards are lust-compelled sex deviants. It's just the rules, I don't make them. And of course, the main gimmick of the bard is that it's artistically expressive in some way. People usually think this means musician. That's because their brain are like this, while my brain are like this. They can sing, dance, paint, prance, make a pretty dirt drawing with a lance. Plenty of ways to further enhance the battlefield if given the right chance. Now you know how to play bard, you're welcome.
Hell yeah.
Now this may sound rather odd, but sometimes the best in the squad is the one with the cross who can smite like a boss by harnessing the bitch slap of God. With a mace that even ogres will flee, you'll cast and crush things with glee. Some think they're not strong and those people are wrong. Welcome to a crap guide to D&D. The support is someone everyone wants on their team, but nobody wants to be. Lucky for you, the cleric is like a support that decided to buy a taser after being too fed up with being told to heal the barbarian who ran into a 1v20 encounter. Clerics are the religious fandoms in the D&D world that are so crazy into their deities that they've turned their fangirling power into something that can actually pack a punch. Having the same armor proficiencies as a fighter and the self-sustaining capabilities of a paladin that's been juicing with unicorn hooves and dragonborn acid. They have so many teeth-grindingly infuriating spells at their disposal on top of all that dungeon masters all over the world universally agree to ban clerics from the game so as to not make encounters absolute nightmares to give
Are they that bad? Hello?
proper challenge without throwing approximately 20 black dragons at one cleric alone to keep it balanced. Spells like Flash Gordon, Buddy Cop Weapon, and Does My Hand Smell Bad to You are so stupidly strong at such a low level it's easy to forget why so many uncultured swine consider the cleric a designated healer. Anyone who does has either never played the class or considered the sword and shield a viable weapon in Monster Hunter. Wait, unlike most other classes, you pick your archetype at first level, and you have oodles, canoodles, and toaster strudels to choose from. To summarize, you have heel bitch, nerd, sunburn, and my axe, nobody dies, nobody cares, and a couple of more that I'm too lazy to mention. Seriously, with how versatile and independently strong you can build a cleric, you can make up an entire party full of purely priests, call it the Amen, and bust down Tiamat's door demanding her lunch money. And she would just build her own toilet to give herself swirlies so she wouldn't have to endure the kind of bullying you're about to give her. Channel Divinity gives you special limited use effects depending on your domain, and can be as dumb as Turn Undead, where the power of the gods can make a zombie run away from you like it's regained its ability to smell and realizes you've been sleeping with your Jesus blanket that you haven't washed in months. Or as useful as Guiding Strike, where you can choose to add 10 billion points to your attack roll so you'll be able to swap
Jesus Christ!
one fly with another fly's deuce being whipped around on a string like a yo-yo strung around your pinky toe.
What did he do to deserve that?
Blindfolded. The only downside is that you get a pitiful amount of uses, like a gym 2 weeks after New Year's. And finally, the most notable trait of the cleric is Divine Intervention, where if you are a good boy or girl all year praying happy thoughts and burning that dank holy kush, if you wish upon a star, the clouds in the heavens will part and the literal gods will stop playing their game of Jenga to fix whatever dumb problems you and your party have gotten into, and then avoid you for 7 days debating whether or not to write you a holy restraining order after seeing you pissed your pants fangirling over your religious senpai noticing you. And now you know how to play cleric. Amen.
Let's go! I don't know if cleric's for me. But it sounds fun.
I don't understand tree huggers. What has the environment ever done for us? It's not like it provides oxygen, resources for tools, housing,
Well, sometimes, you just want to hug a tree.
clothes, food, and technology or anything important like that. And it's definitely not like it's home to various species of plants and animals required to keep the ecosystem alive to continue to feed mankind's insatiable appetite to destroy, consume, and rebuild in his own image, ultimately resulting in the annihilation of the very world that brought him into existence. Nah, fuck all that. The environment clearly exists for us to skin innocent animals that are minding their own business.
No, we don't do that!
So we can wear them as high fashion. I mean, just look at bears. All they do is steal my chips and shit in my backyard. Well, guess what, Yogi? It's
What kind of bears do you have living in your backyard, hello?
payback time, and what better way to give it than undercover as one of their own? They'll never see it coming. Welcome to a crap guide to D&D. The druid is what happens when a ranger decides to fully commit to being a furry/hippie instead of just half-assing it because they're only trying to impress that sexy dryad they met in the forest that one time. They're primarily a casting class, but unlike clerics with their holy senpai, warlocks with their sugar daddies, bards with their awesomeness, or sorcerers with their rich magical parents' inheritance, druid's magic comes from Mother Nature, and from first-hand experience I can tell you now she's an absolute bitch.
What? I like Mother Nature.
At second level, you can fulfill every furry's dream and transform into an animal, but not just any old lameo neon-colored oversaturated mess like Arjun Darksnout the rainbow dog with an indie band
What the
t-shirt
fuck?
over there. No, I mean cool animals like my original character, Grabblejean, the nocturnal giant toad.
Hey, I like Grabblejean. He's pretty cool.
But don't steal! Your archetype will be
I want to steal him.
based around whether you want to be part of the forces of nature or if you want it to work for you. To list them off, land for different flavors of spells, moon for when you want to take your persona to the next level, dreams for if you secretly want to play a cleric, shepherd for if you want to be king of the wigglers, spores for if you want to reenact The Last of Us, and twilight for that sweet, sweet edge. Just like all the classes, your features improve with your level. Where druids differ is that their animal-related features mean that the beasts you summon or wear fursuits of don't necessarily get stronger, but rather they're thrown into the garbage and replaced by things with increasingly more fleas. Moreover, they gain
Awesome.
additional features a regular animal couldn't imagine if it was high on devil weed, which gets fucking terrifying at later levels. Imagine this scenario. You're
What?
walking in the woods, there's no one around, and your phone is dead. Suddenly, spiky thorns sprout out around you, making movement painful. An adorable bunny rabbit sitting in front of you, seemingly harmless, suddenly starts shooting giant bees out of its eyeballs and turning the tree branches around you into black mambas. Design
I don't like that.
an encounter for that, Dungeon Master. And now you know how to play Druid. You're welcome.
That's insane.
Fighter Man, overall he is fairly bland. Hit some stuff, hit some more. Outside combat, it's quite a bore. Look out, he is
This is low-key a banger, hello?
Gee, I wonder what it does. It's a goddamn mystery. Who knows?
I have no idea.
I'll say it because nobody else will. If you pick fighter, odds are you're also likely to pick human because you're basic like that. And
Ain't nothing wrong with, basic.
that's not just me
Sometimes I like getting vanilla ice cream, alright?
saying that. It's science. Human fighters pop out of the woodwork like rabbits on Viagra because people are incapable of choosing something unique even when they're given options like playing as a kobold paladin who prays to asteroids just before they crush an unfortunate man's cabbage cart. Just look at me, for
my
example. Artistic
cabbages!
phenomenon and originator of the satirical talk fast genre of videos. What do you mean I'm not the first one to come up with the idea? I don't need these lies coming out of you. Everything I make is completely original and everybody knows it. Come on, Master Chief, let's get the fuck out of here. Fighters are the purest essence of the combat side of D&D, all about hitting things hard and fast, getting into the thick of the fight, and hey, you get out of here, we're not talking about you. They're all focused around
Real.
rolling more dice than a Limp Bizkit song, as well as being straight up easy baby mode because you get to start using any weapon you want, heavy armor, some ranged options, a free cheesecake, and a complimentary belly rub just for picking the class. Seriously.
I'm picking it just because of the belly rub.
Everything about it is geared towards being so noob-friendly, even a Monster Hunter longsword player will be laughing at you. If you feel so inclined during combat, you can heal yourself, attack twice, and take a second action to attack twice again, all in the same turn. And that's at 5th level. Not to mention you getting more ability score increases than any other class means that if you go a turn without hitting at least something, then you must have made some kind of D&D sin that angered Gary Gygax, like getting weighted dice or putting milk in before your cereal. Fighter flavors allow you to pick how you want to be hitting the bad guys, like being a magic bitch that can actually take a hit, or ride a bitch while you cut down a fool, or go all out sensei mode and just decide you want advantage for every attack this turn, so you're going to absolutely destroy a bitch. But odds are, knowing most fighters out there, champion is the best bet because it's basic. Yo, we heard you like fighter, so we put more fighter in your fighter. Just be sure to make your
That makes a lot of sense.
character a rough and grizzle-faced middle-aged straight white man with a two-handed sword and a mysterious and/or tragic and/or vengeful backstory just to fit the bill. Don't want to get too creative now, do we? And now you know how to play fighter, you're welcome. Hammer, bow, sword, and shield. There's no limit what you can wield. Plenty fights you have fought. Demon Lord's just another thought. This class, great for
Hell
a newbie's
yeah.
first time. Plenty of damage to chime. Here comes the Fighter Man.
Epic. Silence. Silence. Yeah, you know what, champion fighter? I respect it. Sometimes you just want the most straightforward character, alright?
Why? Because, bitch, you were taking too long. Welcome to a crap guide to D&D.
I love how after every video he adds a new figurine of the previous class he talks about.
Fighting is like a science and can be used for either side of the moral spectrum. It can be used for evil, like punctuating arguments, expressing a salty loss, and beating up nerds, or it can be used for good, like self-defense, artistic expression, and beating up nerds. And monks are those who have trained heavily in the nerd beating up science of mixed martial arts, foregoing any sort of traditional filthy weapon proficiencies and instead opting for wanting to punch, bam, boom, slam, kick, punch stuff. You start with no armor because like a barbarian, you have the ability to deflect and dodge attacks with the power of your unconstrained birthday suit. But unlike barbarian, you don't have to rely on the pathetic material world to explodify goblins. You have your knuckles. Martial arts training means you can serve up extra punchables for the bad guys as a bonus action, so no matter how you're doing, as Mama said, you'll be dishing out more pain-induced fistings than two lesbians who consider watching porn as a reasonable substitute for sex ed. But it's not all coochie destruction. The monk is a slippery piece of work who's really good at avoiding any oncoming fistings, like a millennial trying to get their life together avoids self-care, by catching them if they're a fist projectile or dodging out of the way if it's an area of fists. As you grow stronger, you can translate a fist if it's punching in a different language, and avoid any infections if the fister forgot to take a shower that night. As a monk, your shtick is the key feature, but since I can't come up with any way to make this section much funnier, and also because key translates to poop in Thai, that's how I'm going to refer to it from now on. You gain more and more poop as you level up, and you can spend your poopy points on various skills to do all sorts of things, like
hell yeah, I want to earn some poopy points.
Stun people, reroll saves, mask yourself and turn invisible, and any other number of crazy things based on which
can I spawn a burger?
Anime you want to imitate. I would recommend Kensei so you could use the dual-wield chainsaw shotgun laser earrings if it
still want those.
Weren't for the fact that every other archetype was just cooler in every way, wearing fancy outfits and taking the time to actually learn how to fist properly. Oh man, what a tough decision. Do I want to use a pokey stick or do I want to fire Hadoukens and Kamehameha blasts? What an enticing decision. I'm really gonna have to think about.
Don't stop, we're in luck now.
And now you know how to play monk. You're welcome.
You're so silly. I love playing paladins. I love being the knight in shining armor. I need a knight.
Boy, I love the smell of justice in the morning.
I want to be a damsel in distress.
There's nothing more satisfying than
I need someone to save me.
knowing the good name
From myself.
of Sword and Shield has traveled so far and wide that not even the Pokemon games are free from their incredible, awesome influence. And it's about time too. You think I created this series to entertain and inform ignorant whelps of great hobbies their miserable lives are missing out on? Fuck no, it was to enforce the mighty name of the one true weapon pairing that triumphs all others. And if anyone were to step out of line, I'd bring down the wrath of which tear-ass children tell their parents to scare them before bedtime, and then collect the aftermath of the pants they all shit because it makes for great fertilizer. Welcome to a crap guide to D&D. Do you want to tank? Do you want to fight? Do you want a class that'll instill fright, take up some plate, and keep the goblins in sight? Because you want to make sure they eat this paladin smite! The paladin is the first on a short list of hybrid-style classes, stealing a mix of features from both the fighter and the cleric, meaning it's better at physically painting the walls with blood than a cleric, but more gooder at grammar and spelling than a fighter. But it's also one of the few classes where role-playing becomes somewhat
I'm very gooder at grammar.
important. What? Role-playing in my role-playing game? They really should have put some kind of warning label somewhere. I'm not submitting to this shit. If I wanted to follow some sort of code, I'd become a pirate so that I could at least plunder some booty while I'm at it. Otherwise, fuck you, gods. If you want me to play your game of ethics, you can kiss my shiny plate mail. Alright, fine, just follow the code and don't do anything stupid that'll cause you to lose your paladin privileges, like a spoiled rich kid who's upset that he doesn't get a fourth Maserati to crash. Like the other all-up-in-your-grill-style physical fighting classes, you gain proficiency with every goddamn combat-oriented item in the universe. And yes, that does technically mean that you can optimally play a paladin without a shield and not have to worry about being a less effective contribution to your party, but if you do that, I'm telling you now that you're wrong and I hate you and you're a big, smelly doo-doo head.
That's me!
The resident big fuck-off bringer of divine justice, your job is to harness the power of holiness or whatever other wacky power, depending on what oath you pick, to have everything else die while they bounce off of your full frontal crusade like a turd in the wind. That's true for just about every combat-focused class, but the paladin is especially good at it, what with having the aforementioned fighter-cleric combo skill set. You get multiple attacks, channel divinity, a free vaccination, casting abilities, more auras than that one silly anime that nobody likes, which means you'll be so jacked that your mere presence will muscleify any nearby ally so that they look like a typical character from said silly anime that nobody likes. And lay on hands, a pool of health you can use to heal yourself or give a single hit point to your ally because that's all they deserve for not letting the rogue check the obviously booby-trapped room first. But we all know the real reason anyone picks paladin, and that's to never cast any actual spells, but instead use your spell slots to imbue your weapon with various flavors of smite. Because what?
But I like that. That sounds fun.
Good is striking down the heretics and heathens of the realm if it's not in the elemental attacking equivalent of your god sports team colors. You can smite with fire, laser pointers, brain freezes, sick bassy drops, and cheese for everyone.
I want to smite with cheese.
Sorry, I meant force. Force.
That's lame.
This is what it says. What is this, Stargate? And now you know how to play... Wait a minute, what the hell is that noise?
What? That's silly.
Just play a fighter with a bow, it's way better.
Is it? I feel like I would miss. I feel like I would want to make a ranger character that like loves using the bow and arrow but isn't good at it. That would be
Alright,
so
fine,
funny.
I'll talk about the class. Ranger is the other of the bisexual style of classes, where it likes fighter, but it also likes druid, and flips between the two depending on which one looks cuter at the
Ranger is
moment. Hell, it even
awful.
steals
Is it really?
a few things from rogue because it's so indecisive, and despite the name Ranger, you're not actually restricted to use any sort of ranged weapon in order to be effective. As far as combat goes, you get the usual fighter but not really fighter set of features. Fighting style, all weapons, extra attack, spell casting, D10, hit die, hey Macarena. From rogues, it steals the ability to channel your inner chameleon and blend into the environment, except instead of hiding in the shadows and watching where you step, it's more like putting on makeup, so you need to take some time, have a good look in the mirror, maybe look up some tutorials while you're at it, then start over when you realize you were using the wrong shade of foundation. From druid, it steals some of that being one with nature flavor it's got going on, and a whole lot of spells, but not without a few exclusive spells of its own, like having a target explode a bunch of thorns when hit with a ranged attack, plant arrows in the ground and turn them into proximity-based fireworks, except the gunpowder is magic and the lights are bits of enemy brains, and single-handedly the objectively best ranger spell, Swift Quiver. Not for the unlimited ammo, that's dumb, nobody keeps track of their arrows anyway, but because it turns your ranged weapon into a rapid-fire machine gun.
But that sounds fun!
Joseph, you said you don't need to use a ranged weapon to be effective as a ranger. Those all sound like ranged weapon exclusive spells.
That may be true, however. Anyway, when it comes to actual unique ranger features, you can use the power of racism to decide what kind of creatures you're going to perform extra potent hate crimes on, and preferred terrain, where you can pick your favorite environment, and after trotting around picking flowers or litter, depending on what it is, you can become a fantasy Bear Grylls, which is basically—
I used to love watching, what is it? Man vs. Wild? I love Bear Grylls.
real-life Bear Grylls, except with a Kobold crew filming you instead. And if you worry that that sounds too situational, and that if you picked a forest terrain and the entire campaign took place in the snowy mountains would mean the feature would be more useless than a football player who got tapped on the shoulder and started clutching their knees crying in the fetal position, don't worry, you're right, and it is. What isn't situational is just about everything else involving the environment. You can sense what kids are trespassing on your lawn and then not have to worry about the weeds that might otherwise slow you down from catching them and giving them a good weapon! When it comes to flavors of the no really trust us, you can totally use melee and still be a useful class. You have Pokemon Trainer with a gun, like rogues but even dodgier, literally a monster hunter, thinking with portals, and pew 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 pew! Alright, let's address the beholder in the room. The vanilla incarnation of the ranger has a reputation of being less useful when compared to the other classes due to questionable abilities and how they function. That's not to say the class can't be useful or powerful in the right circumstances, but some consider the ranger's situational and sometimes underpowered features to leave something to be desired. However, there's nothing wrong about talking to your DM about changing how certain skills work, if that happens to be the case, so that you can have more fun at your role-playing table. But you know what, at the end of the day, it's not about how many numbers you can do to the bad guys, but whether or not you can shoot spikes out of the ground while firing bolts from your heavy crossbow atop a feathered velociraptor.
And that sounds epic.
And now you know how to play ranger, you're welcome.
Oh my god, they toppled over the bard. Why is the bard toppled over?
Ever since I was a child, I had to grow up on the streets, wrestling alley bears for food and fighting guards for my own freedom. It was in those streets that I knew I couldn't trust anyone but myself. The only thing for sure was that I had to find the monsters who put me there, to exact my revenge, and finally put my restless hunger for blood at ease.
So is that why you're standing in the corner of a tavern conspicuously?
That's something deeply mysterious and intriguing for you to find out. But I doubt you'd understand all the pain and suffering I've had to endure.
Okay, bro.
Alright then, I'll see you later.
Wait, no, you were supposed to be deeply interested and ask me more about my backstory. You know what? I'm tired of being another cog in the machine of an adventuring party. I'm going off on my own, following my own creed, and doing what needs to be done. That's right, I'm going rogue. Do you get it? Rogues are the sneaky, savvy, skilly, willy utility monkeys of the
I'm scared of rogues, man.
Forgotten Realms, and the best pick if you're a
The few campaigns that I've done with rogues, they were horrifying.
backseat gamer, since it lets you interrupt someone trying their best because they weren't doing it right. However, if you want to marry Sue it up even more than you already are, you also get expertise so that you can upgrade those proficiencies to anime protagonist levels of ridiculous. Now I know what you're thinking, this sounds a lot like Bard, and while that's partly true, the difference is rogues aren't automatically assumed to be the comic relief. Instead, they're deep, dark, and brooding,
And they shut Shop at Hot Topic.
9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Holidays excluded because who could be grumpy on Christmas?
The other main difference
Fair.
is their unique combat feature, the sneak attack. And because the names in D&D are always inaccurate, you don't actually have to be low to the ground and covered in shit to deal the sneak attack bonus damage, but rather anytime the enemy's just not feeling up to it today and just wants to get it over with. This means if the enemy's being flanked, or if they're laying prone on the ground, or they just bragged about how high their IQ is, you know, things that would make them really easy to stab. You are, incidentally, not very easy to stab since you have a whopping 4 goddamn features dedicated to make you more difficult to pin down than figuring out if that teasing banter you had with your friend actually hurt their feelings or not. You can dodge when it's your turn, dodge when it's not your turn, dodge a giant ball of fire, and even dodge having to pay the bill on a first date. One especially unique trait of the rogue is their exclusive language, Thieves Can't. Thieves Can't what? I don't have the
Thieves
slightest
can't?
clue, because it allows you to say a whole bunch of jargon that somehow translates into a completely different sentence.
You just know a whole other language?
Timmy's having tea with the local blacksmith actually means let's go to the temple and steal some of the cleric's donations. Speaking of
What?
stealing, the thief archetype means you're especially fast at doing thiefy things, like picking locks, chugging potions, and hardcore parkour. Assassin makes your stabs extra stabby, and you can stab while disguising yourself as a child you saw who you can point to later and say they did it. Arcane Trickster basically turns you into a bard, except less talented or attractive, and allows you to hocus pocus somebody's wallet from 3 miles away. Mastermind is straight up Sherlock Holmes, complete with the assholery and catchy theme music. Swashbuckler won't stop bugging people to 1v1 them, and Scout, which is yet
Real.
another better alternative to Ranger. Your job is to make sure everybody knows how much better you are at doing everything, because when the going gets tough, you know the party's going to turn to you one day and ask you to please pick the lock on the door to the king's castle because the bard accidentally kicked the guard in the genitals trying to seduce them. And
That sounds like something I would do. Stop trying to instigate raising the timer. We have 7.5 hours.
gladly show them all the skills you've learned.
It's
from
fine
Growing
for
up in
now,
such a harsh
okay?
and unforgiving environment that was
Relax.
once your home, forcing you to learn questionable means and morally ambivalent beliefs in order to survive.
Just try not to cut yourself on that edge while you're at it. And now you know how to play rogue. You're welcome.
You forgot the part where they only shop at Hot Topic and Spencer's.
Magic is dumb and stupid and makes no sense, and my brain hurts the more I try to figure out how it works. Except
Facts.
when bards use it, because bards are cool and mages are lame with their colorful flowy
What?
robes and giant obnoxiously fashionable
That's
hats.
just Vagar from League of Legends. Anonymous, please. Stop. Thank you for the 10, but it's okay. Really, it is.
I'm not jealous, shut up. At the very least, though, most of them work hard for their magical abilities, some of them
Oh my
cultivating it through skill and
God.
experience, others answering to a higher power, some having a codependent relationship with the arcane, and some lucky enough to have their parents bang a mystical creature and receive a small genetic loan of 1,000,000 mana. Welcome to a crap guide to D&D. Get your stupid hats ready, it's time for the casters, where your weapons
Hey,
suck, your
my hat isn't stupid.
armors suck, and your martial skills are closer to that of the average D&D player. Instead, you'll be relying on the mystical, magnificent mass of magics. Except in
Rest
this
in
case, not
peace,
really
Robin
relying on it, more
Williams.
like bullying it into doing what you want. Sorcerers are those who disrespect the rules of magic and can easily manipulate it, like it's some young adult who's desperate for food that isn't microwaved or takeout. Maybe that's why your hit die is the one used for Monopoly games. That's right, a pathetic D6, which likely means the DM won't have to do much to make you piss your pants in fear. The Cirque du Soleil's metamagic feature means you can enhance the spells you cast by paying off the essence of arcane with the inheritance money you got from your magical parents, and allows you
Oh
to
my
influence your
God.
spells to take on a variety of effects to your liking. Its effects include, but are not limited to, biased AoEs, angry AoEs, spells that gotta go fast, say, "Nuh-uh, I totally got you, I hit your shirt, clothing counts," get an extended spell warranty, double penetration, or even cast with the sound of your armpit farts if you don't feel like talking that day. And you can do all that and more by using your sorcery points, which has got to be the 2 most absolutely nerdiest words you could ever put together in a single phrase.
Hey, I think sorcery points sound cool.
It's also a weirdly effective safe word because it allows your magical BDSM to stop so your spell slots can catch their breath and recover. With archetypes, you have squishy clerics, zippy zappy, casty blasty, watch for the lightning, it gets nasty, darkness, 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 scaly and denial, and the only one that really matters, the Wheel of Wild Magic!
Ooh,
where
that
you
sounds
and whatever
fun.
other lucky souls nearby get to experience the high-octane thrills of randomness. Think your pathetic magic missile just won't cut it? Don't worry, with the right kind of luck, it could suddenly open up a one-way portal to the fireplace. Who knows what crazy, helpful, and/or harmful effects could happen due to your gambling addiction? Let's
Wait, that sounds like so much fun.
spin that wheel and see how wild we can get. I may have spun it a little bit too hard because of my stonkingly huge muscles, so we'll just let that go for a while. Now the main difference between the 3 arcane casters is how they get their magic. While wizards take years studying for the ACT and warlocks keep having to pay interest to their demon lord shareholders, sorcerers' magic comes from the fact that they were born inherently talented instead of needing to do any actual work. That's why your
So they're spoiled.
casting ability is charisma, because we totally need more of those, and just because you can cast spells doesn't necessarily mean you're smart. But who cares what's smart when you can cast big spells with big effects, so your big numbers can turn the big baddies into big piles of giblety experience points. Insert fireball joke. And now you know how to play sorcerer, you're welcome.
I want to play the Wheel of Fortune sorcerer.
Well, shit.
Shit.
Hey you sitting there with your saggy butt cheeks and emotionless expression.
My butt cheeks aren't saggy.
I know what you're thinking. Boy, I wish I could cast spells, but all I got is an expendable firstborn child and a willingness to work under a questionably immoral arcane master till the end of time. Well, that's just the exact sort of motivation we like for our employees at EDB Incorporated. And if you sign up with us, we'll be sure you're treated in a way that you deserve for assisting in furthering our goals to bring about the ruin of the entire multiverse. All I need you to do is sign here and agree to give us eternal servitude of your mortal soul.
Oh my god.
But on the bright side, we have dental. Welcome to A Crap Guide to D&D. So you want to use magic, but only as much as you want to hug that one family member you keep seeing at reunions, but aren't quite sure how you're related. Then you may—
Dude, I cannot tell you how many times that has happened to me growing up. So my mom would take me to like these Filipino parties, and she'd be like, "Sai, look, it's your Tita Joy," and I'm like, "Who the fuck is this person?" And then, well, tita means aunt, but she's not actually my aunt. You know how, like, the way Filipinos, like, my mom's friend would be considered my tita, even though they're not blood related. And then they'll look at me like, "Sai, I haven't seen you since you were a baby. Do you remember me?" And I'm like, "Brother, I don't know who you are. I have no idea who you are."
Want to be a warlock, the fake gamers of the Forgotten Realms. How warlocks differ from the other casters is that the amount of times you can cast your spells before running out of spell slots is absolute shit. Instead of having a set number of spells for each level of spell slot, you get a maximum of 4 spell slots for all your spells up to 5th level, and that's it. And a few other ones, but nobody cares about those. The flip side is that the spells you cast are always at their max level, and instead of having to take a long rest to get those slots back, all you need is an hour to have a wank, have a biscuit, and you're back on your feet. But you know what? Fuck real spells. You may think you're a caster, but really picking this class is purely an excuse to do nothing but cast everyone's favorite cantrip, Eldritch. Cast it at weddings, funerals, beach parties. Or you can just cast it randomly because the party's taking 5 hours to buy a single dagger from the shopkeeper and you're bored. Aside from casting nothing but Eldritch all day, the main draw of the Warlock is the fact that it's the greatest game of dress-up dolls of all time. Eldritch Invocations allow you to custom tailor your Warlock so that it suits you better than my form-fit, Kieran assless chaps. You can talk to animals without needing to cast a spell, go straight up invisible whenever you want, but most importantly, there are invocations that allow you to customize your Eldritch so that whenever you shoot your gobbledygook at whatever poor sap that looked at you funny, you can pull them forward and do your best Scorpion impression, snipe them from 2 blocks away, or make the beam of arcane destruction smell like strawberries if you like. But it's not all fun in Eldritch because remember, you've signed a pact with a patron, so your power is being loaned to you from an all-powerful arcane sugar daddy. So you will have to pay interest if you want to make sure all that magic stays nicely tucked into your Eldritch sack. Luckily, they're not like bank loans because you can actually pay them off and they're not always inherently evil. You have the choice of being bossed around by a literal devil who decided to make you their favorite person, so they're gonna—
Wait, you know what? If she's hot and sexy, I wouldn't mind.
Be your mommy for a little bit. A skeleton who ironically refuses to let you die because you still owe him 2 platinum. Fairies who are just straight up assholes. Gods, so you're basically a cleric now. Literally Cthulhu. But forget all those because the only real option is to have your patron be a magically possessed sentient sword and shield that yells fuck when you swing it. Basically, you have such a huge amount of options to choose from with how you build your warlock, it's very unlikely any 2 warlocks will be the same. So get your shopping baskets, light some candles, have fun customizing. Oh, and remember you have to sacrifice 3 more babies by the end of the week or you're fired! And now you know how to play warlock. You're
Oh my god. Curious, how many do I have left?
Impressive, you know.
Oh my god, we do have a hot minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could probably
I've never had a student score 0 in everything before.
We could probably finish this one and then we can react to the second half another time.
What do you mean? I chose exactly the perfect spell for every situation.
Well, you answered Fireball for every question.
What's your point, person within fireball distance?
What I mean is you can't expect a big damaging area of effect spell to be the answer for everything. Maybe try some different spells, maybe minor illusion to trick the enemy. You can find a fae or a fiend to serve as your familiar, or even prestidigitation. It has a surprising amount of uses, even though it costs nothing.
I'm about to prestidigitate all over your desk if you keep suggesting lame-o spells.
What I'm saying is you should expand your horizons. A wizard is the apex of the arcane, the ultimate utility caster, and one of these days you're gonna find yourself in an encounter where Fireball isn't gonna... Where'd he go?
Where did he go?
What the fuck?
Welcome to Correct Guide to D&D! Classic, the OG, the frail old man with a stick that shoots magic missiles at a few goblins and then has to go door-
Hey, he's a cool old man, alright?
door telling his neighbors he's a registered hex offender. The wizard is the most powerful class if you ignore any other classes that are stronger, which are all of them, because this thing is more fragile than a single layered sheet of toilet paper that's been soaking in the soggy crack of the bridge troll's ass cheeks. This class is the sorcerer's lamer, more studious, dorky neighbor who does all the hard work for none of the recognition. You get
what is wizards die to a sneeze canonically? What the fuck?
Saving throws and intelligence and wisdom instead of constitution and charisma, so sure you'll be able to ace that pop quiz and not have to worry about being distracted, but you won't be able to hold your liquor or score any hot dates at Chad Firebolt's party in the Golden Mansion his chromatic dragon dad bought him. If you're looking for the silver lining, the wizard is definitely the heaviest case of be careful who you call ugly in magic school. The wizard's spell list is thicker than the Storm King's thunder thighs, you gain spell slots like a shower drain gets hair, and during a short rest you can even choose a small amount of spell slots to recover depending on your level. Best of all, at higher levels you even get the ability to cast your favorite low-level spells
Wizards have a D4 health dice? What the fuck?
as many times as you like. But who are we kidding? You're likely going to be dead before you reach that high. Either killed by your own fireballs or killed by all your pissed off
you get killed by your own magic.
allies who were caught in your own fireballs. But hold your horses there, Mr. I actually believe wizard memes are as funny in the game as they are on social media. All your spells are tied to your spellbook because wizards have short-term memory loss, and unless it's a cantrip, you can only cast a spell if you have a 3-step tutorial with pictures to color. But the work doesn't just stop there. The stronger spells at higher levels are going to need expensive magical components to cast them if you don't want to embarrass yourself with arcanal dysfunction and suddenly your finger of
Wizards are D6 now? Hell yeah.
death feels more
They got a buff!
or like a finger of mild discomfort. People say wizards are the utility casters because of the massive amount of spells at their disposal, many of which are apparently great for a wide range of situations. I'm here to smartly inform you that those people are stupid.
They're literally like a toolbox.
Use fireball and only fireball. Nothing but fireball. Just fireball. Just fireball. Just fireball. Because they are the nerds of D&D, wizards have an unhealthy amount of knowledge of all of the different schools of magic. So instead of having their archetypes based around a certain theme, they get one for each of the aforementioned schools of magic, which is too damn many to go over, and frankly, I don't have the time or gummy bears to last a whole lecture. Instead, I'm going to quickly summarize each school of magic, and also war magic, cause fuck you, and I'm gonna do it all in song!
Ooh.
Evocation elements to burn or shock or freeze your friends. Necromancy spares the dying, or you could just resurrect them. Abjuration keeps you safe and almost makes your armor fair. Divination helps you sense, detect, commune, and talk to bears. Conjuration, portals, and make stuff for free. Transmutation, turn things into other things with enchantment. Buff the buff or in between, and delusion. Visual tricks to prank the brain with fear and silence. Blur and go invisible. Pretend you're someone else's dad. Disguise, mislead, take on their life. War magic is like tank mage, getting lots of defense, flexing as you cast. And now you know how to play wizard. You're welcome.
Hey, that song honestly sold me. Alright, we'll save the other half of a crap guide to D&D probably for the next time we do a reaction stream. Probably for the next time we do one. I hope that's okay. That was fun. I love that he makes it like engaging and fun to learn. I feel like if it was anybody else, I would have gone, well. Stuck here. Stop! Guys, listen, aren't you satisfied that we're at 7 hours? Why do we keep spamming raise the timer? Haven't you guys had enough? You are stuck here forever, Sai. Do I really need to like... Am I gonna really have to open the ASMR YouTube channel? Do I have to open it? Do I have to? Do I have to open it? You guys, if the ASMR YouTube channel gets unlocked, you guys are gonna have to get ASMR every week. Because if that happens, I was like, wow, I have to probably post at least once a week. Ah! Crying emoji. Crying emoji. The subathon's gonna last 3 more anniversaries. Man! Yeah, I don't know. Poseidon plushie's up next. You guys actually want a Poseidon plushie? I don't know if attempt Kaizo Ironmon sounds crazy to me too. Attempt the Kaizo Ironmon. Crying. Oh man. Why not? Plushies are puntable. You know, it'll bring me comfort if we do hit that goal. There's gonna be at least one person who will treat my plushie nicely. That brings me a bunch of comfort. Can we get mason jars with side branding on it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No mason jars with side branding on it. Please, please no. Please no. I will put the plushie in the microwave. Listen, man. If you do that and your house catches on fire, not my problem. Finishes, it doesn't manage to sell 50 playmats with Empire Art. Subathon begins again at 200 hours. No, I'm not taking that bet, man. I'm not confident. I'm not confident. I'm gonna be real. I struggle to sell sometimes like 50 units of my own merch. So selling 50 is kind of a lot. Maple won it with Swallow. Here's the thing with Maple. She's like built different. That girl is insane. I love Maple. That girl is cray. She's so good at Pokemon. I wish I could be Maple. Maple is so cool. I love Maple. I think I've talked to her like once or twice, and she's very, very lovely. The endless 8 of Sight. No. No. Too bad Small always throws. Small? Yeah, she doing Super Kaizo Ironmon now? No, that's at 5,000 subs. We're about 1,000 subs away from the Kaizo Ironmon goal. And I low-key hope we don't hit it, because I don't wanna attempt Kaizo Ironmon. Notice how it says attempt. I do not promise I'm gonna finish it, because I'm bad at Pokemon. I'm bad at Pokemon. Please understand. Oh, I meant Maple. Oh, I have no idea. She's probably doing it. She's just built different, man. She's playing 2 different Super Kaizos. That's crazy. That's insane. That's actually insane to me. I wonder how she does that. I mean, she's just built different. Her brain is just wired for that. She's so cool. Don't tell Maple I said she's cool. I'm too people shy. I'm too people shy. She is cool though. I want to get better at nuzlocking because I'm poopy butt at Pokemon, but at least I have fun playing Pokemon. At least there's that. God give me patience. I ain't making any promises. What? Alrighty, chat. I'm gonna wrap stream up. I do have to be somewhere pretty soon, but I'm gonna stop the timer. I cannot believe we're stopping it at 7 hours and 48 minutes. But I'm not gonna make any promises whether or not I'm gonna stream this weekend, because I have a big exam on Monday. But if you would like to get any schedule updates or anything like that, go join my Discord server. That is the best way to know whenever I'm live. Any schedule updates, any just updates with me in general, you should go check out my Discord server. Yippee! And then follow me on my socials, Poseidon Mythos, on everything, as well as buy my merch, because if you bring my merch to a TCG Locals, you are more likely to win. Yeah, swear. Anyways, I am gonna go head out. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Friday, and I will see you guys pretty soon. Yeah. Alrighty, gamers. Have a good Friday. Sayonara.